everybody. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good stuff. And guys, it is the day after the book of Boba Fett aired. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on Boba Fett. We're going to try to keep it pretty much non-spoiler, although there was nothing to spoil out of this episode, but whatever. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on the book of Boba Fett in just a second. Joining me, of course, as always, is Kimberly Ann Curran. Kimberly, how you doing?
Good morning. I am doing great.
And sitting beside her is the equally great
What's
Ray
up,
Nora.
bro?
What did you say the name of the new show was?
No, it's Boba.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
It's the cross between Hawkeye and Boba Fett. It's Boba Fett. Classic.
That would have been. Oh, never mind. I'll save it.
I'll watch that. Anyway, guys, listen. So Ray, guys, of course, for those of you watching live, Ray's going to be hanging out with you guys in the live chat today, hanging out and talking about a whole bunch of things. And we do have a whole bunch of things to talk about here today, guys. And here's how today's show is going to go. We're, of course, going to start off in the first half of the show talking about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your comments and your questions. If you're watching live, and only if you're watching live, you can go ahead and throw in a comment using the Super Chat feature, and we'll read that off once we get to the end of the main topics. And if you're watching this, even if you're watching live, but if you're watching this after the show's been live, you can actually send in a question anytime 24/7 using the tip link that's down in the description below. Just click on it there or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your question read on a show, this one or an upcoming companion video, if we deem your question appropriate to be read on the show. And of course, you'll be supporting the channel at the same time. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you so very much for your support. All right, guys, don't forget too, if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube channel, no problem. Even if you're commuting, you're on a treadmill, whatever, there is the audio-only version of the show that we call the John Campea Show podcast. It is available on your favorite podcasting app of choice. Just go and search for the John Campea Show podcast and subscribe to it today, so that audio-only version will be there when you need it. Okay, guys. Before we get into our main topics here today, we've got one off the top to do, and that is this. There was a little bit of a controversy the other day. A little bit of a...
What voice is that?
Upset filmmakers. Maybe a little bit of ruffle feathers. Got a little protagonist.
Oh, it's a new character. New John character.
You guys might remember the other day there was news that came out that caused a little bit of a problem. So Sony announced that they were putting out a DVD Blu-ray box set of the Ghostbusters film. I think they call it Ghostbusters, the Ultimate Collection, which would be like 8 discs and all this kind of stuff. However, somebody forgot. By the way, good on Supermix and Flicka for getting the voice there in the live chat. You guys know what I was talking about. So there was one little problem with this Ultimate Ghostbusters box set. It left out one of the Ghostbusters movies. It left out the 2016 Ghostbusters. Now, 2016 Ghostbusters is not a movie I adore. I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be, but it's not a good movie, in my opinion. It's not good. And so they left it out, and I'm sure probably a lot of fans of Ghostbusters were probably perfectly happy that they were leaving it out. Perfectly happy that they were leaving it out. But Paul Feige took to Twitter and basically did what you should never do. He aired the dirty laundry. Like, instead of just getting on the phone and calling somebody from over there at Sony to saying, hey, what's going on? He actually decided to make it public. And I think this is a mistake, but whatever. He made it public instead of just getting on the phone and calling somebody like a real man should do. But whatever, he got on Twitter, decided to do the Festivus airing of the grievances. And he said, Sony, I know this must be a mistake. We do have a lot of fans, and Bill, Dan, and Ernie were in it. And it won. Well, I almost forgot about this part, the most important part. It won the Kids' Choice Awards for Best Feature Film, everybody. I know, the Kids' Choice Awards for Best Feature Film the year it came out. So I guess it was just an oversight, so he decided to make this public. Well, his little public temper tantrum. And by the way, I actually really like Paul Feig. Like his movie, A Simple Favor, one of the most underrated films of the last number of years. I really dig him as a director. I think he's very, very good. But he decided to make it public. Well, apparently it worked. Because now, according to reports, Sony has decided to add into the collection a code that will allow you to download a digital version of things. So they're not going to include a disc in it. They're not going to go back and say, shut down the presses. Let's redesign the boxes. Let's repackage everything and all this kind of stuff. No, they decided not to do that, but they are going to include a code that says, okay, if you want this movie, you get a free digital download of it if you buy the box set. Now, look, I was okay that they didn't include this movie in the set because when you look at the other Ghostbusters movies, they are in one continuity.
Sure. Yeah.
Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Because it's one story.
Yeah, it's one story. So there you go. Still, the other one is a Ghostbusters movie, and I was perfectly okay that they left it out. I am also perfectly okay that they included it in. I just don't like the fact that they're doing this at the behest of somebody throwing a temper tantrum on Twitter. But I mean, hey, whatever. I know you did not like this move. You don't even think they should have put this in there, do you?
No. No. And I think the example I use is like how it was kind of, the Reitmans. It was a father-son legacy, and it's kind of like generations of a family doing something really cool and really meaningful and making a legacy. And then the neighbor across the street goes, I want in on this, and then makes his own whatever it is. And it's like, why didn't you include me? It's like, because you weren't a part of it to begin with, bro.
Right. But they are a cousin. They are a cousin.
They're that cousin.
They're related.
That rides into town on the Beverly Hillbillies truck and goes, hey, y'all, what about me? You got room for me? Come on, babe.
I want you to do the whole show in that voice, by the way.
I absolutely will. You got it, baby.
I mean, it's
so annoying.
Yeah. So look, again, I had no problem that they left it out. I have no problem that they're putting back in. I mean, and by the way, it's no effort for them just to include a digital code.
Sure.
It's not like they had to go back to the drawing board and change everything up. So I get it. And if it's not going to make it cost anymore, that's the key. That was the key thing in the report. It's not like this new collection, this ultimate Ghostbusters collection. It's not going to cost the fans anymore if they want to buy it. They're not going to add any additional cost to it. So, hey, look, if it was easy to include, it doesn't increase the price. And look, since all film is subjective, there are fans of the 2016 Ghostbusters film, so I'm sure this is going to make them happy. And if you're not a fan of it, this isn't taking up any extra space on your shelf.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I didn't dislike the 2016 version. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, so for me, I wasn't like, this is amazing. I'm a fan of it. I just, to bogart your way into this legacy, it's just
fine. Little iffy. Little iffy. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? That Sony has decided to reverse course. They're not going to include any discs, but they are going to include a digital code that if you are a fan of the 2016 version, you can get it when you get the collection. Good move, bad move, indifferent, whatever you guys are thinking about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here on the show? Well, it's really simple. You guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on The John Campea Show. With that down, Kim, what is our first main topic today?
All right, guys, this comes to us from Goodwin Myers. Hello, John and crew. Why is it that every superhero show or movie that runs long enough feels the need to give all the secondary characters superpowers of their own? CW was the worst for this, but now we're reading that Spider-Man producers wanted to give MJ superpowers too. Why? Why do they always do this? What are your thoughts?
Well, listen, first of all, I got to say, I am so glad you said that because, yeah, to me, that is one of the most irritating. CW was worse for this. CW was worse for this because when you had a CW show, if there was somebody who knows the main hero, a countdown clock for when that character gets their own superpowers too. Everybody, it's like the Oprah thing.
Superpower. You get a superpower. You get a superpower.
Everybody gets superpowers. Or in absence of superpowers, if you were on Arrow, one of the characters of Arrow, hey, I saw you pick up a stick once. Here's a mask. You're a superhero now. Like there was like, what was it? They had something like they found that one guy who's just kind of rough. What'd they call him? Like, not bulldog. It was something dog was in it, right? It's like, oh, they just gave him a gun and put a hockey mask on him. Oh, you're something dog now. You're a superhero. Or, there was the Laurel Lance nonsense where it's like she literally went and took 4 or 5 night boxing classes at a local gym, decided to put on the Buckles leather suit, and I am a superhero now. But it's true. Even like one of my favorite CW shows, Black Lightning, eventually, of course, the daughters are going to get superpowers, and the daughter's boyfriend gets superpowers, and everybody gets superpowers, right?
Handing them out.
Well, apparently, like it's not just CW. There was some discussion and talk apparently about MJ getting superpowers too. That this came out in an interview where, surprise, surprise, Tom Holland let something slip he probably wasn't supposed to let slip. But here's what this comes to us from Screen Rant, right? The following. Speaking to online Russian entertainment show OK Now, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, OK Vodka, later uploaded to the OK Vodka YouTube channel, Zendaya was asked whether she had asked the producers to develop MJ into a superhero. Zendaya said that she hadn't asked, but Holland revealed that the producer had planned for some time to make her character a hero. Saying that she'd rather leave the superpowered adventures to Holland, Zendaya then said she was pleased with their character, praising director John Watts for constructing Peter, MJ, and Ned's, Jacob Batalon, relationship so that the two ordinary friends are vital to helping Peter out. First of all, her answer was perfect. Her answer is perfect. He's got non-superpowered friends that are there as his support system. That's exactly what she should have said. It was the perfect answer Zendaya gave. But again, now look, I'm sure there are some people right now who are probably screaming at their computer monitors, but John, it's a comic book. It's Ultimate Spider-Man. Issue number 43, page 7. Yeah, I get it. There is some background precedent in the comics that MJ can get superpower. There's been several stories, right? I get that. But this is not the comic books. This is the movies. And first of all, let's say this. I'm very glad cooler heads prevailed and they decided, no, MJ did not also get bit by a radioactive spider. No, French kissing Peter and getting some of his saliva did not turn her into a spider superhero as well. I mean, and so cooler heads prevailed. They didn't do it. And I think that's great. But the very fact that they even pondered it and said, well,
come on,
people like MJ, so she should have superpowers too. I'll just end it by saying I'm very, very glad they opted not to give her powers. Like, I don't know, like, listen, MJ is a beloved character.
Yes.
There are a lot of people's in the MCU. It's not special. In this overcrowded MCU universe, it's not special to have superpowers anymore. Everybody has superpowers now. I mean, like I joke about it a lot, but it's true. On every 7-Eleven, there's 4 superheroes on the rooftop patrolling for crime. I mean, it's getting there. Do you think maybe there could have been an interesting story there to tell with MJ having powers? Do you think maybe that's something they could have explored, or are you glad they didn't?
Well, Zendaya is just a force. That young lady is such a force. And I think if you were to do it, the only way I would have accepted it is if maybe Peter was having a dream. And maybe he was thinking back to the battle at Endgame and how cool it was for Pepper Potts and Tony Stark to be together. And if he was having a dream and all of a sudden her eyes lit up and, electricity shot out of her fingers, then he woke up and was like, oh, wait, just my girlfriend. But what I love about her and Ned is that their superpower is loyalty and friendship.
Yeah, that's great. I love that line.
Oftentimes superheroes are so alone. That was really, I feel like, one of the continuing storylines of Captain America. As much as people revered him, he was lonely. And so for Peter Parker to have Ned and MJ by his side and helping in this supernatural way. Their loyalty, like, okay, oh, well, no, this isn't a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler at all. But there's a great scene in the movie where she has his back and she kind of does this stance of like, not my boyfriend. That's not a spoiler. If you guys saw the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was really funny. But just that attitude she had of like, he's the one with the powers, but I dare you to try to get through me.
Yeah.
That's a superpower. Being that ride or die chick is a superpower.
Yeah, and her and Ned were both that for him in this movie.
And they were both that equally. He was the guy in the chair. And honestly, if you added a twinkle to her eye or a spark from her fingers, I'd just throw my hands in the air and go,
but then again,
fine, whatever.
Then again, we won't go into details. Even Spider-Man No Way Home couldn't resist the urge a little bit. You guys have seen the movie. You know what we're talking about.
I'm trying to be good to y'all. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but...
So not just that one, but maybe MJ. We'll talk about that another time, I'm sure. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? That the producers of Spider-Man No Way Home, for a little bit, were wanted to go towards in the direction of MJ getting superpowers. Do you think they should have done it? Are you glad that they didn't do it? What would you have done? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 2. Kim, what is our second main topic today?
Okay, guys, this comes from Brian Sams. Hey, John, saw Matrix Resurrections and I kind of hated it. Not like the worst thing ever, and I don't think it was as bad as Matrix 3, but still pretty bad. Just saw that Hugo Weaving was originally going to come back to play Agent Smith. All I can say is that I probably would have enjoyed the movie like 50% more if Weaving was there. He was a big missing piece. Do you think his return would have made much of a difference?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, this is interesting. I find this interesting. Like, for those of you who may have missed out on this. So there was an interview being done, and they were talking about both the writers of Matrix 4. And it is a very curious thing that Hugo Weaving was not in this movie. And without going into a lot of spoilers, not that it matters for Matrix 4, but it makes sense narratively why Lawrence Fishburne wasn't there, right? There's a narrative function in the story that makes it make sense why Lawrence Fishburne, the actor, isn't there. But there's not one for why Hugo Weaving isn't there. And because Agent Smith is a digital entity, so, I mean, he probably could have been there. But they didn't go that way, and that's fine. That's fine. But now we're finding out that the original plan was for Hugo Weaving to be in this movie as Agent Smith. This comes to us from the folks over at comicbook.com who write, a new Morpheus was there from the beginning, co-writer Alexander Hemon revealed to IO9. During my brief career in the movies, I've learned that movie making, it's a world of contingency plans. And so people might or might not, sign on, or if they sign on, some things may change. So we did write some roles. I'm not going to give it away, but we wrote a character for someone that we thought would play it, and then it was not possible. And so still, we didn't change anything radically, but we were just imagining this actor in the role, and then it turned out that it was not possible. But we didn't change any lines with that. So that actor is still incredible in the role. When asked to clarify which role, Hemon revealed that Hugo Weaving was originally set to return as Agent Smith. Okay, here's why this is kind of significant to me. If you watch just the first Matrix movie, the movie's about Neo. And of course, he's Robin Hood, and then he had his band of merry men, including, Trinity and Morpheus and Cypher and whatever. But as you go through the trilogy and you get to the end of the third film, it kind of evolves, and Matrix kind of becomes about Neo and Smith. Because that's a constant throughout the films.
Totally.
Is Neo and Smith. If the actor who played Agent Smith in Matrix 4 had been a different actor, would that have changed anything about the movie? No. It's still the same lines. It's still the same lame. The Matrix was a video game series, and now Warner Brothers is forcing us to make it up. Yeah, it still had all that same lameness and whatever. Would it have fundamentally and radically changed the movie? No. Would it have slightly changed our experience with the movie? Maybe a little bit. Like, of course, I didn't like Matrix 4, okay?
No.
But, yeah, Quelle Surprise. But seeing Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity, that felt kind of good.
Yeah.
Seeing Keanu Reeves back as Neo, Mr. Anderson, that felt pretty good. It didn't stop the movie from being a bad movie, but seeing them in those roles, that felt pretty good. And if Hugo Weaving had popped back in there as Agent Smith, that would have added to that felt pretty damn good. Would it have changed the movie from a bad movie to a good movie? From my own subjective opinion? No. Would I have enjoyed my experience a little bit more seeing him, considering this franchise through the first Trinity, no pun intended, through the original trilogy, that it was Neo and Smith, it would have felt pretty cool to see Hugo Weaving and Keanu Reeves facing off again. Again, I don't want to overplay that. It still would not have been a very good movie, in my opinion. But it would have given a little extra few smiles from me in it. I know, Kimberly, I don't think you liked the movie all that much either. But do you think it would have maybe given a little bit of a different experience had it actually been, for you at any rate, had it been Hugo Weaving playing Agent Smith in this?
Just a little bit. I mean, something that, and I don't think this is a spoiler, that we get from the film is that everyone is kind of a different version of who they were, in a way. And I would have liked to see Hugo Weaving as, like, I don't know, an alpaca farmer that brews his own kombucha and lives in a yurt,
right?
But still, has that back and forth with Thomas Anderson. I would have liked to see him in kind of a different way outside the suit or whatever, but it would not have changed everything for me. I would have, like you, I enjoyed seeing everybody, the gang back together, but it wouldn't have changed how I felt. My sock drawer would have still gotten reorganized. So, I mean, and had a glorious nap in between. So,
so maybe a nice moment.
A nice moment.
Smile whenever we see Hugo on screen, but ultimately it doesn't really overall change.
Not at all. Not at all.
I guess the question is for you guys. What do you think about this? I know today's a big day. Today's a big day. You want to know why? Today just might be the day that Ray Ora is going to watch Matrix 4. He was telling us before the show today.
It is the day. Today's the day.
Today's the day that he's going to watch Matrix.
I'm ready.
I want to know if you're falling asleep or not.
Well, actually, what was your conundrum? You're trying to decide which movie you're watching today. What
that
was the
or Don't Look Up.
Right.
Let's do a poll right now.
All right, yes.
No.
Poll right now. Which movie should Ray watch today? And it's the options are. Oh, that was I accidentally typed that as a comment. Hold on a second. Let me try this again. So here you go. Which movie for those of you watching live? Which movie should Ray watch today? Don't Look Up or Matrix 4. This is vitally important, guys.
So important.
You can change the course of somebody's life.
Choose wisely.
Choose wisely. The poll is up there
I would like
right
to
now.
nap to a good movie.
Good movie. The better the movie, the better the nap. So yes, we got that up there right now. Oh, and it's close. It's close. We've already got like 400 votes, and right now, Don't Look Up is ahead 52% to 42%. We'll keep our eye on this. This is hard-hitting news, guys. This is
Ray
important.
Nap Watch 2021.
Nap Watch.
No, I'm actually really going to watch that. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to watch one of those movies.
So, and it's up to you guys. You guys will decide its fate. We'll check in on that in a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think, if Hugo Weaving had appeared, would that have changed your experience with Matrix 4? Maybe yes, maybe no. Whatever you guys think about that, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Kim, what is our third main topic today?
All right, this comes from Pierce Lockman. Pizza is ordered, friends are coming over in about an hour, and the final countdown is on for Boba Fett. Your excitement for the show is contagious, and I'm so ready. If this gets to you in time, what do you think of the first episode, and did it live up to your expectations? Thanks, and may the filthy be with you.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for saying that in. And if you guys have been watching the show, you know I've been very excited about Boba Fett. I think this really is my number one most anticipated Disney Plus show right now, out of all of them that are coming. I mean, Jon Favreau's writing it. I love the iteration of the character in Mandalorian Season 2. Mm-hmm. It looks to be this gritty underground crime movie or kind of show, whatever. And I mean, I was pumped. Turns out the book of Boba Fett is really the brochure of Boba Fett. Or as I saw somebody else once say, it's the dust jacket of the book of Boba Fett.
Oh no!
Okay, look.
Sadness.
Did I hate episode 1 of the book of Boba Fett? No, I did not. But I'm not going to lie to you. It really felt like, and this isn't about the 30-minute runtime of it. It kind of felt like it started and then I blinked, got a drink of water, and then the episode ended. Like that's what it felt like to me. It's like the episode started and then I blinked and the episode ended and really nothing happened. I mean, yeah, they got to do the big fan service thing that ever since Patton Oswalt did the Parks and Rec saying, "It is the sands of Tatooine, and bursting forth from the sands is the Mandalorian gloved hand of Boba Fett." And ever since Patton Oswalt did that bit on Parks and Rec so many years ago, everybody's wanted to see that. Everybody's wanted to see that scene of that the Mandalorian hand coming out of the sands of Tatooine and dragging himself out. And they did it. I'm like, okay, we don't need to go back there. We know he got out. We don't really need to know how or whatever, but whatever, they wanted to do that. So they did that and then went on this long Dances with Wolves storyline of this injured cowboy being nursed to health and treated by the indigenous community until he proves himself in battle.
So mean.
And we won't go into the details, but we saw parts of these in the trailers and stuff like that.
God.
Here's the thing. You know how Hawkeye launched with 2 episodes?
Yes.
I don't feel like TV shows need to do that in general, but I really think it would have served Book of Boba Fett to launch with the first 2 episodes. Because honestly, that first episode was just, look, I love this character. I love Fennec Ren. I love that they're the whole underworld taking over Jabba's business. There's a lot of there's all these elements that are there that I liked, but in 30 minutes, I felt like the episode started and then ended and nothing really happened. We didn't really find anything out, really. And I'll say this too, there's a fight scene, which we see a glimpse of in the trailer. There's a fight scene, I can tell you, felt very slow and clunky. And it was Boba Fett's moves. After watching John Wick Boba Fett in Mandalorian Season 2, where he's just wrecking fools.
Yeah.
I was watching this fight choreography, and it was like, Urgh. Urgh.
He was LARPing.
He was LARPing. That's exactly what it was. Boba Fett.
LARPA Fett.
LARPA Fett.
Clink, clink, clink.
Lightning bolt. It was
Come on,
LARPA Fett.
Give him a break.
And it just felt kind of slow and clunky. And I've seen some people in the live chat,
Oh
but
my
John, tomorrow's 60. I don't care. I just watched a 70-year-old Michael Keaton in,
Word.
what was it called again?
Protege.
The Protege. I just saw a 70-year-old Michael Keaton in Protege kicking ass. I don't care that he's 60. You can choreograph it better. Or just put the damn helmet on him so you can get a stunt guy in there to make it look. Anyway, whatever. That's a minor nitpick. That is a minor nitpick. Is it though? Yeah, that was a minor nitpick for me. I think the bigger issue for me was, like, I remember the first episode of Heroes on NBC. Still the greatest single season of television I've ever seen was the first season of Heroes. It kind of went downhill after that, but that first season, I remember the very first episode grabs you by the throat and you're like, you're going to watch every episode of this. Save the cheerleader, save the world. You know,
oh God, yeah, I remember that.
That show just grabbed you from the first, all that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of shows do. A lot of shows, their first episode out of the gate, they want to grab your attention and make their case. Here's why you need to watch this show. And I feel like, again, this would have been a good application of the strategy they used on Hawkeye to give us the first 2 episodes, because I got a feeling episode 2 is going to give us more meat.
Yeah.
And I feel like for our first night out, we've been waiting for this, and now we just got to sit with this kind of filler. Episode 1 should not be a filler episode.
That's a really good way to describe it, yeah.
And so I think really it would have benefited from episode 2, because I really believe we're going to get a lot more in episode 2 for us as an audience to sink our teeth into. And I think it kind of would have benefited from that. I didn't hate it. I just kind of watched it and I felt like, wait a minute, it's done? Like we haven't actually gotten to anything yet. So I don't know. That was me. Ray, you were over here last night watching this with us. What was your first impressions of the first episode? I
agree with everything you say, but it's weird that I'm excited for the next episode for some reason. Like, I think, with Mandalorian, it like started off with a boom, and that's what I expected with this, but we didn't get it. But I think it's setting up something. Like, it's going to get way better, I think, in episode 2. I'm
agree.
Looking forward to it.
I still have all the faith in the world in this show. I really do. I just, again, I really think they should have put out the first 2 episodes. And I don't normally think that, but here I do. Kim, you watched it. We haven't really had a chance to talk about it yet, but what was your impressions of the first episode of I almost said Mandalorian, of Boba Fett?
You know, I don't know if I should say it. I'm going to say it.
Say it.
I love a good Steven Seagal movie. And the fight scene in this episode
just ruined him.
It really just took me back to that black ponytail and those slow ass side kicks. And that's how I felt this went down.
Oh my God.
No shit. Seriously, like, I don't want to shade Mr. Morrison. Like he's really great. But I wasn't wowed. I wasn't like, oh my gosh. The first episode of Mandalorian, I was hooked, I was sucked in, and I could not wait to see the next episode. For me, I'm not turned off. I'm like, you know what? Okay, we're going to go the slow burn route. I will stick with it. I have higher expectations for episode 2, but I'll tell you right now, if episode 2 follows this, I don't know that I'm going to keep watching. And if I do continue to watch it, I might just let a few weeks build up and then just binge it. Because it just didn't capture me like that. I appreciated learning more because, like I said, one of my favorite things, not being a reader of the books in Star Wars, is learning about this world. I love Star Wars movies and learning more. I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't wowed. I wasn't pulled in. But I'm going to give it a second try for sure.
I love the fact that you brought, because I was mentioning Heroes. Mandalorian is a great example. The very first episode of Mandalorian, right? They knew we need to give the audience a reason right away. Here's our sales pitch for this show. And it starts off with him collecting about the Mandalorian, episode 1, first scene.
Love it.
Walks into a bar.
Boosh.
Boom. Gets his bounty.
That was
the
really
door comes open, blah. He gets his bounty, takes him up, blah. Then he immediately goes and meets with Carl Weathers. We start to get introduced to this world. There's another job and blah, blah. Then he's working with the IG. I can't remember the number of IG. Like, it's not IG-88, but it was whatever the number of the IG was. He teams up with the IG. They go and do an assault on this compound. And then this amazing ending of the episode with the 2 fingers and blah, blah.
Oh, man. Wow.
So the whole
but
episode.
You were in it. You were in it. That first episode put you in it, and you're like, I'm about this. I'm wrapped up in this episode. Like, you were like, all right, let's do this. You had this excitement, this pull.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be. I think we're going to get that. In Boba Fett. I do.
I sure hope
it just
so.
wasn't there in the first 30 minutes, and so they probably. I still think they should have given us 2 episodes to give us a taste of that.
So he was supposed to be already, since it was after the. which movie? The third Star Wars movie, the last
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. He was supposed to be already like a assassin or like a hitman.
Oh yeah, he's already
Oh,
well
like a
known.
trained-
sweetheart.
Yeah, he's not. We shouldn't be seeing the learning stages
Yeah,
of Boba Fett.
so-
He's already supposed to be the galaxy's most notorious thing. The fact that he comes out and jobs to, well, I'm not going to give away the specific details, but I don't know. It's just,
I felt like he was a sweetheart. Like,
That's what you're saying.
and
yeah.
I felt like I should have been more like, so this is the badass we've been seeing all along. And I was like,
And I
well,
think we'll
ain't
get
you
that.
sweet, you little sweetheart.
I think
That's
we will.
How I felt.
I think we're going to get that Boba Fett. I do. I
wanna
but
see that.
This one is like, no, I wouldn't hit a kid, and no, I
he
feel
feels-
bad for these guys.
Torture
and,
him.
Oh, I'm
But
very
why?
patient.
He
And
feels so undecided right now on what he wants to
Oh.
be to these or to this place that he's in.
But I will say this though, we got a moment of that Boba Fett that we're looking for.
We did get a
Boba
little
Yaga.
glimpse.
There was at the end of the one fight scene. Again, we won't give away the exact, for those who haven't seen it, we won't give away the exact moment of it yet, but there's the kind of ending, and he does that one thing. It's like, oh yeah, he's kind of heartless. And so I think they need to give us a good balance of those two sides. But listen, I still have all the faith in the world in this show. I still do. It wasn't a bad first episode. I'll say it again. I just really feel like this would have very much benefited from the same release strategy that they did with Hawkeye. I didn't even think Hawkeye needed it. I think this show needed it
Yep.
more than Hawkeye did,
Definitely.
releasing the first 2 episodes at once. But, whatever. Question is for you guys. You guys had a chance to see the pamphlet of Boba Fett. What did you guys, and I just say that because it felt so damn short, and I really did. I felt that felt
Absolutely.
really short. Anyway, guys, how did you guys feel about it? Has it increased your excitement for the show overall? Has it decreased it? Is it right what you were expecting it to be? I still have a lot of hope in this series, and I will look forward to next game day for sure. But how are you guys feeling about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that all down, we're now going to go over and start taking your live comments that you guys have been sending in via the super chat. By the way, I'm going to keep the super chat open here for a little bit longer. If you guys still want to throw in a comment for us to read, go ahead and use that. Once again, that's only if you're watching live, and you can use the live chat feature here. But for now, Kim, what do we got going on in the live comments?
Okay, guys, this first one is coming from Al Renshaw. He says, I just want to see Boba kick some ass, and hopefully Mando makes a cameo.
I don't need a Mandalorian. I don't need Mando to make a cameo. No, I listen, every show needs to have surprise cameos and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's cool for a gimmick, but the gimmick's been done. I just focus on, we've only got 7 episodes, and apparently 7 really short episodes. So look, am I going to have a problem with it if Mando shows up? No, I won't have a problem with it, but I don't need Mando to, this is a separate show. This is a different story. Let's keep it that way. All right, what's next?
All right, RDG124 says, hi, John, Kim, and Ray. What's your favorite underrated martial arts movie? Mine is Best of the Best. Keep up the good work.
Best of the Best is one of the ultimate man movies of all time. You know what I'm going to say. Daehan, bloodied and beaten, limps across the awards aisle, takes off his gold medal and puts it on Tommy and says, I deeply regret the loss of your brother, and I offer myself as your new brother. And everywhere across the world, men are pounding their chests and saying, yeah. I mean, yeah, Best of the Best is awesome. Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, Chris Penn. I love Best of the Best. It's like one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies of all time. Couple other ones I want to throw out there that are really, really underrated. One is my all-time favorite kung fu film, which is called Shaolin versus Lama. I offer you this stick so you may beat me for my insolence. I mean, one of the greatest things, and where the bad guy at the end starts literally open palm slapping his head going, I must die to prove that Buddha exists. What? And every time he slaps his head, like mouthfuls of blood come flying up. It's the greatest kung fu movie. It is the greatest kung fu movie of all time. Now, I'm freezing on the name of one. It's the one, if any of you guys in the live chat remember the name of this one. And I don't know why I've always known the name of it, and I'm freezing on it right now. It's the one back in the early 80s. It's the first movie Jean-Claude Van Damme ever appeared in. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme plays this Russian fighter, and I don't even think he has any lines in the movie. And it's about this kid who needs to fight in a martial arts tournament, and he gets trained by, of course, the ghost of Bruce Lee. The ghost of Bruce Lee comes and trains this kid how to fight in it. Thank you, Shelton. Gordon in the live chat got it. It's no retreat, no surrender.
Wow.
No, Darren J. Seeley knew it as well. Jesse knew it as well. A bunch of other people. No retreat, no surrender. It is an awful, awful movie. But I don't know why. When I was a kid, I had so much fun watching that. The Ghost of Bruce Lee, showing him how to do the 3-inch power punch, whatever. So I would say best the best, no retreat, no surrender, and Shaolin versus Lama. You got any favorite martial arts films?
I don't know if you would consider this martial arts, but the Undisputed series after the first one, the one with Boyka, where he's like the big guy that was the villain. And
I remember, yeah.
I like those movies. Like I think people should watch them.
What about you, Kim? You got any underrated martial arts films that you like?
Yeah,
because you come from a family of martial arts.
I come from a family of martial arts and years of competing. Yeah, it's a movie called Seven Ninja Kids. And I think the U.S. version is called Seven Ninja Kids. I think it's called Lucky Kids or Seven Lucky Kids in China. But these kids are throwing down. And the movie, God, it's from the 80s. I know it's from the 80s. I don't know what year. But we used to watch it all the time on repeat. We wore out that VHS. But the martial arts with the kids, it's like, oh my gosh, these kids are insane. You should check it out. It's a really fun movie.
All right, what's
Seven
next?
Ninja Kids. A. Marcellus says, Daredevil has a crossover event called Devil's Reign. Mayor Fisk is using the Thunderbolts to hunt down the Avengers, specifically the New York ones. Sorry, the thing just jumped. Okay. Makes me want a Daredevil Spider-Man movie so much. Ooh.
I'll tell you what. One of my most guilty pleasure favorite Daredevil crossover things was from the Incredible Hulk TV movie, where the Incredible Hulk and Daredevil were in it. It was Lou Ferrigno's Incredible Hulk and John Rhys Davies, the guy who plays Gimli in the Lord of the Rings, the Gimli elf or dwarf in Lord of the Rings. He plays Kingpin. It's ridiculous. Now, there were a couple, a lot of people forget this. There were, I think, 3 Incredible Hulk TV movies that came after the series. The one was with a Daredevil and John Rhys Davies as Kingpin.
Wow.
One was Hulk and Thor.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Oh,
the one with Thor?
Yeah.
That one with Thor. So it's a total, Roadhouse beer swilling Thor. But, and Mjolnir was like this big. He was like a little bigger than a regular hammer or whatever. So, but I remember it was the first time on screen that I saw 2 superheroes fighting each other. Because Hulk and Thor get into a fight when Thor first pops up. And then, of course, they team up together to work in that movie. And then there was a third one, which was the death of the Incredible Hulk. But yeah, one of my favorite, and again, this is just because I was a kid, one of my favorite Daredevil team-ups ever was the Incredible Hulk mini movie. Anyway, all right, what's next?
That Incredible Hulk theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
So sad. Why was it so sad for such a monstrous dude?
And but then it was played. I remember when in the last one, Hulk is falling out of the air, and the piano. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's very sad.
Check it
music.
out, Cam.
All right, what's next?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Marie Seifring sends in a 1999
Thank
super
you,
chat.
Marie.
Hi, John, Ray, and Kim. I liked the first Matrix movie. The second was okay. Not thrilled with the third, and don't plan to see the fourth.
Probably good move.
But for me, Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith was one of the best parts of the movie. Thanks.
Listen, Hugo Weaving, it just brings a presence to everything he does. Whether he is an elf in Lord of the Rings or whether he is an agent in Matrix. And tell me, Mr. Anderson. There's just something about the way he could communicate that is just like a Jeremy Irons level kind of spoken power that I just love. So yeah, it would have been really cool to see.
It was really terrifying to me in the first Matrix. Every time he appeared, I don't know if he was supposed to have that effect, but I didn't think could get rid of him. He was very terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, and he got, to me, even got better. Even in the bad Matrix films, I thought he was always fun to watch. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw says, me every Wednesday. I want to see the baby.
And you know what? I don't think you're alone, man. I think a lot of people are tuning into Boba Fett just because they want to see if Baby Yoda pops up. So I think they're going to save that for Mandalorian season 3 because you don't want to overdo Baby Grogu, Baby Yoda. I mean, they want us to call him Grogu. I'm going to be calling him Baby Yoda forever, but they probably want to save it. All right, what's next?
Dino Vader says, first episode, okay, a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of room for improvement. It's just that, look, your first episode doesn't have to be your best episode, but it's got to be an episode that does something to grab the audience, like Mandalorian episode 1 did, like WandaVision episode 1 did. Like, you got to do that. And so if you knew that, well, our episode 1 doesn't really do that, then again, and by the way, they've got 1 extra episode than Hawkeye does. Like, this is 7 episodes long as opposed to 6. So you really had that extra room if you wanted to play 2 at once. But I don't know, whatever. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn says, theory, Keaton is Vulture variant in Morbius.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But then again, John, I don't have a better theory. So, I mean, it's possible. That's on the table. But I don't think they're going to go with that one. But I admit I don't have a better theory right now. All right, what's next?
Purple Haze 4564 says, John, I'm confused about the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. When can I ask a question about it?
Again, we've mentioned this probably another maybe 2 weeks. Now, normally we wait until a movie comes out on home video. But for a movie like Endgame and a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home, where clearly anybody who is quasi-interested in it has probably seen it already, there are still some of our film-loving brothers and sisters that this movie has not been able to open where they are.
Yeah.
So we will wait a couple of weeks more before we openly ask those questions. All right, what's next?
Elmist says, hi, John and crew. This show has slowly become an obsession. I watch it every day, whether I'm commuting or just relaxing. I've gotten my boyfriend hooked too. Thank you for all you do and bring on the filthy.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Elmis. We appreciate that. Thank you for being here, being part of our community, and helping make our show what it is. So thank you so much for that, and it's good to have you guys here. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher says, I liked it, but the big highlights for me were the makeup and costumes and the score. I also finally want to see Under the Tuscan Raider bandages.
I'll tell you what I really like seeing. I mean, this isn't a big spoiler because I think you see them in one of the trailers. I thought the Gamorreans looked really good. Mm-hmm. I thought they looked really good, and I liked the way they were kind of used in it. So I like that aspect of it, sure. All right, and you're right. The makeup in Mandalorian and Boba Fett, I mean, it looks great. I think it looks great. By the way, I keep forgetting Dancer's name, but
Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals, the girl from Flashdance. What a feat.
Oh, she really was in it.
Oh, yeah. I kept expecting her, like, when she's, like, talking to Boba Fett, to lean her head back and pull a chain and there's a bunch of water poured down.
She looks fantastic after all. She looks fantastic.
Even caked under all that makeup, she looks great. All right, anyway, what's next?
Fangblaze71 says, the MCU Disney Plus shows have been great, but man, the go all out with the live action Star Wars shows, Boba Fett episode 1 was amazing.
I'm glad you found it amazing. I wish I did. I thought, this is all right. You know what I felt like? I felt like it was a lot of TV shows, you tune in and then there's like a 5-minute scene and then the opening credits happen.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what this entire episode felt like.
Exactly.
This entire episode, like by the time the episode ended, I felt the opening credits should have rolled.
That's exactly how I felt too.
I was actually waiting for that.
That's totally what it felt to me. So listen, I still have, like I said, I still have all the faith in the world in the show. It's Jon Favreau. So I just can't wait to watch next episode. I just hope it gives us a little bit more than what this one did. All right, what's next?
Rafael Castillo says, the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett wasn't long enough. I wanted more. By the way, during that rooftop chase scene, I kept hearing Michael Scott's voice saying, parkour! Parkour!
What were we doing in this office 5 minutes before the show started? Parkour! Parkour!
Raphael.
Like we were doing that exact thing. What Raphael just said we were doing here in this office. Parkour! Parkour. And
I'm
then-
surprised we didn't tear up the office.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I was half expecting Ray to jump off.
Oh, no.
Off the walls.
No way.
That's what I was kind of half expecting to happen. All right, what's next?
A. Marcellus says, John, your prediction videos for the next big MCU project are always fun. I also hope you consider doing a review video of the quality of Phase 4 thus far and your predictions for the future.
I don't know that I'll do one about where we're at with Phase 4 right now. I am a little, not disappointed, a little underwhelmed with Phase 4 right now. For every Shang-Chi and Spider-Man No Way Home and WandaVision, we've also had what I thought were decent but not great Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I liked, Black Widow, which I liked, Loki, which I liked, Eternals, which I liked, Hawkeye, which I didn't like. So I'm, not disappointed, but a little bit underwhelmed is my basic feeling of Phase 4 so far. I mean, again, look, we've had WandaVision and Shang-Chi and Spider-Man No Way Home, which I do adore and love all those three things, but I'm not used to having like 8 or 9 Marvel things and only like 3 of them that I totally love. I'm used to, like, out of every 9, totally loving 7 or 8 of them. So I don't know, but we'll see where that goes. Thanks for writing that into the question, man. All right, what's next?
Christopher Brickner says, R.I.P. John Madden.
I don't think it's crazy to say maybe one of the top 3 most iconic names when it comes to professional football. Not only a Super Bowl winning coach, not only one of the greatest commentators in the history of the sport, but also when anybody thinks of football today, what do you think? You think Madden. Madden, 2018, Madden 2019, Madden
the
2020.
Game, yep.
And like, it's just that he was across all those spectrums. And it was very, very sad to hear about his passing. All right, what's next?
Pablo Zuniga says, speaking of MJ, if you Google Mary Jane Watson, Michelle Jones comes up. Hardcore Spidey fans are pissed. I think it's kind of funny.
Well,
LOL.
remember what they did? They made an interesting choice that Zendaya is this universe's version of what Mary Jane Watson was, but she is not Mary Jane Watson.
No.
They actually retconned a little bit in Spider-Man No Way Home by saying her actual last name is Watson, but she is not our traditionally understood Mary Jane Watson. And I thought this was a really interesting choice because when they established that early on, that she's still MJ, that move gave them as filmmakers the freedom to kind of do very untraditional things with the character. Because everything about this MJ character is totally the antithesis, personality-wise and everything, from what the traditional MJ is. Like, I'm not talking about appearance, I'm talking about personality.
Deadpan, sarcastic.
She is a completely different character. And by giving her a slightly different name, they give themselves freedom from, that's not how Mary Jane acts. Well, this isn't exactly Mary Jane. It's our universe's version of it. And I think that was kind of a pretty smooth move on their part. All right, what's next?
Oh, this is very important. Guy from Kings Highway says, I'm at the gym.
Well, you know what? It's important because the gym is as good a place as any to be watching the John Campea Show. And I'm glad you're joining us from there, Guy at the gym. Don't forget leg day. Don't forget leg day. All right, what's next?
Sidious Swift says, I fell asleep halfway through Nightmare Alley. Watching Kingsman, Licorice Pizza, and Journal for Jordan Friday. Thanks again, AMC A-List.
Still haven't seen, you know what? I totally forgot Journal for Jordan was coming out.
Yeah, Christmas Day.
And it's a beautiful trailer. But apparently I'm not the only one who forgot it was coming out because it made like nothing.
Oh, wow.
They didn't market it very well. They didn't market that movie well at all. Somebody who's been looking forward to it, forgot it was coming out. So I got to get on board that one. Sorry to hear that you fell asleep through Nightmare Alley. Maybe you were just sleepy.
Maybe you were sleepy because, man, was it good.
I'm glad.
It was good.
All right. Hey, good luck on the rest of that City of Swift. I hope you have a good time at it. All right, what's next?
Dejin sends in a $20 super chat.
Oh, thank you, Dejin. Appreciate that, man.
Thank you. John, I just wanted to say thank you to you, Kimberly, and Ray for all your hard work. I really enjoy your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Like, it's always super nice when somebody just wants to send in something like that just to say something sweet like that. So that is not lost on stage. And seriously, thank you so much. That kind of makes our day hearing those types of comments. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for being here. And thank you for supporting our show, man. All right, what's next?
A. Marcellus says, Matrix 3 was about stopping Smith because he was too out of control. Hey guys, let's bring him back for the fourth. Smith is harder to kill than Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he kind of keeps coming back up. Again, look, I'm not saying they needed to have Agent Smith in this movie. But if you're going to have Agent Smith in the movie, I'll go so far as to say this. Not having Hugo Weaving, and look, I think actors are completely interchangeable. But part of the allure of Matrix 4 was the novelty of it. And if you can't get Hugo Weaving back as Agent Smith, when it's really a novelty play anyway, I'll go say this. The Agent Smith character was not pivotal to the story of this movie at all.
No,
he was like at best a very, very secondary feature. You could have written that character out and maybe had a smoother storyline, but I don't know. A lot of debate to be had there, I'm sure. Thanks for sending that in, Marcellus. All right, what's next?
Nicholas says, hey, you guys, I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on the 2013 Great Gatsby movie? I gave it a chance since Toby is in it and ended up loving it.
I really like it. With Leonardo DiCaprio, it was directed. It was not Baz Luhrmann, or was it Baz Luhrmann? No. Who directed that one again? Ray, can you look that up? But I believe it was the same director as one of my all-time favorite films, Moulin Rouge. And I mean, look, The Great Gatsby is a story that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. But I thought this was a very, very, very good movie iteration of it. So do you guys got the director name of it?
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann.
It was Baz Luhrmann. Okay. So I thought this was a very good interpretation of it. I liked it a lot too. So I agree with you on that, Nicholas. All right. What's next?
Zelda Master 702 says, should have cast Ross Marquand as Smith.
I can't think off the top of my head who that is.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm
sure other people would. All right. What's next?
Josie Reviews says Matrix 4 could only be saved by the notorious PIG.
I don't know what that is a reference to.
All right, dude.
I have a feeling that's something we said at some point, but I cannot remember.
Probably.
All right, what's next?
Sin Vendetta says the Book of Boba Fett episode 1 was good, not great, but enjoyed it. Good way to start off with some backstory to ease us into the story. 7 out of 10.
When you are only 7 episodes long, there is no easing into the story. I really believe that. You need to get the audience right away. Give us something. You don't do the whole show in one episode, but again, when you look at Mandalorian, the way that show, episode 1 had us all hooked. That's what good shows do. I'm watching Yellowstone right now. Episode 1 got me hooked.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the fact that I was already so excited for Boba Fett, and I know Jon Favreau is writing and all that kind of stuff, if I didn't already know all that and have a lot of belief in it, if Boba Fett was just another show I was coming into and just checking out for the heck of it, I would watch episode 1 and I would not come back. Fortunately for me, I am already hooked into this universe, and Jon Favreau's doing it, so I have a lot of belief in it. But honestly, if I came into this show cold, not with a pre-existing disposition to already being into it and all that kind of stuff, I probably would have watched the first episode and said, okay, there's nothing here for me, and I would have floated away. So I don't know. Anyway, that's just me. All right, what's next?
The Spectrum Snacker sends in a super chat.
Well, first of all, one of the great names of the day. Thanks for sending that in, Spectrum. What's next?
Double Down says, I totally agree. First episode was not enough. He was beat up and rushed to vodka tank after a street fight. The baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. The action was bad also.
I gotta agree, the action wasn't great. Again, on top of the slow-labored, or what do you call the Steven Seagal? The older Steven Seagal, the latter half of Steven Seagal's career, kind of movements, and then parkour. Because that's all. It felt like I would be cool with the chase scene where there's a couple cool parkour moves.
Yeah.
But it felt like, here's what it felt like to me. It felt like Robert Rodriguez, who directed this episode, I believe.
He did.
Found a couple of really great parkour guys, and it's like, well, I got him here. I might as well use this entire sequence just to show off them doing parkour. Because that's all it felt like. It just felt like our world parkour.
Backflip gainer.
So again, I still have all the faith in the world in this show. I do. I'm totally looking forward to the next episode. I just wish they had given us 2 episodes here. All right, what's next?
Sick Lid says the fight scenes were trash.
I don't disagree with you, Sick Lid. I agree. They could have done them much better. All right, what's next?
East Coast Sniper says he spent a part of it healing, so he's probably hurt.
Yeah, but we saw him fighting in Mandalorian, and he was looking pretty damn good. So I don't know. Maybe between the end of Mandalorian season 2, when we see him take over the throne, and when this show starts, maybe some other physical trauma happened to him. Maybe we'll get that in the next couple episodes. It's not a bad theory. All right, what's next?
Max Vem says first episode throat grabber equals the boys.
Oh, that's another great example. Yeah, I remember. I didn't know what to think about the boys going into it. I'm like, all right. And first episode, bang, I'm in. Like from the moment that A-Train ran through Buddy's girlfriend on the street, on the sidewalk.
That was brutal.
Just I'm like, what the fool? I mean, it was that WTF moment that's like, and I'm hooked. And I'm hooked. So that's a really good example, Max. All right, what's next?
Ronan says, something tells me that we find out Doctor Strange knew all the events in No Way Home would happen because he felt there was no other way.
I don't think they're going to go. There's reason for you to believe that, Ronan. I don't think they're going to go back to that well. I really don't. I mean, he seemed pretty adamant about it, so I don't think that's going to be the case, but I wouldn't be shocked if we find out you're absolutely right. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo says, I didn't hate Book of Boba Fett, but damn, that was anticlimactic. Not worth staying up till midnight. Fingers crossed for a better outcome.
Okay, you know what? I made a decision for myself. It's funny that you say that, Elizabeth, because I actually made a decision for myself. I'm not staying up till midnight to watch it next week.
Oh.
Yeah. It's going to have to get me back on board for that. I'm probably going to get up next Wednesday morning, and I will watch it at probably 7 a.m. while I'm doing my other things, getting ready for the day. And that's when I'll watch it before that day's show. Yeah. But I'll probably, and then if it's great, then I'll get back on the midnight viewing. But I don't think I'm going to stay up till midnight next week. If this next episode is great, straight back to midnight screenings. But for now, I'm with you. I'm going to watch it the following morning, I think. All right, what's next?
Fangblay71 says, only 7 episodes for Boba? I thought it was going to have like 8 Mandalorian.
It should have 12. It should have 12, but I believe I heard it was 7. Maybe if you guys know that I'm wrong, let me know in the live chat, but I am pretty sure it's 7 episodes. I'd love to find out that I'm incorrect about that. So guys in the live chat, if you know definitively, let me know. Yeah, but I do think it is 7. All right, what's next?
Sam Sprill says, Kung Fu Hustle is amazing. Definitely my favorite.
Yeah, but it's not underrated. Like everybody talks about Kung Fu Hustle. By the way, Kung Fu Hustle is not even Stephen Chow's best martial arts movie. Stephen Chow's best martial arts movie is Shaolin Soccer. Have you ever seen Shaolin Soccer?
No.
It's so good.
Is it?
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Like, I personally find it way funnier than Kung Fu Hustle. Shaolin Soccer came first, and then he did Kung Fu Hustle later. And don't get me wrong, I love Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle is great. But Shaolin Soccer, to me, is his best movie. Shaolin Soccer.
Is that just a name, or
are
we
we're talking
bending
soccer.
It like Beckham and then a backhand?
Yeah,
is that
where the soccer team utilizes Kung Fu to be better at soccer. It's so good. You got to go see it.
How come no one's mentioned 3 Ninjas or Surf Ninjas?
Surf Ninjas.
I'll let you guess why we haven't mentioned that. You got a Surf Ninjas big fan right beside you, of course. All right, what's next?
Chips B. Wixon's in a 1999 super chat.
Oh, thank you, Chips.
Thank you. No, MJ shouldn't get powers there. What's more interesting is female heroes overall. Wonder Woman's movie was no fluke, but she's always had a backseat to Supes. Why? There's a market for women heroes in roles like No Way Home.
I think the reason Wonder Woman takes a backseat to Supes is because every superhero takes a backseat to Superman. I mean, it's Superman. He is. I mean, look, while Batman is the coolest superhero probably ever, Superman is Superman. He's the OG. He's the guy. So it's not like, well, wait a minute, why is Wonder Woman taking a backseat to Superman? Because every comic book character takes a backseat to Superman. It's Superman. Flash takes a backseat to Superman. Aquaman takes a backseat to Superman. They all take a backseat to Superman. I mean, Wonder Woman is absolutely one of the Divine Trinity. It's, the Trinity is Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. That's the Divine Trinity. But I mean, Superman is Superman. That is if you had to have like, what is the avatar of superheroes? Superman is the avatar of superheroes. That's what it is. So, but yes, there are definitely, and by the way, Chips, if you are interested in Wonder Woman, I highly, 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 highly recommend called Professor Marsden and the Wonder Woman. I think it's called. Is that what it's called? It's called Professor Marsden and the Wonder Woman. I think that's the name of it. At any rate, it's got Luke Evans is in it. It's all about the guy who created the Wonder Woman character and really what went into and what ideals went into creating Wonder Woman. I thought it was fabulous. Nobody watched it. Not a lot of people pay attention to it, but it's really, really good. And you should absolutely check it out because it's really fantastic. All right, what's next?
Enrique A says, Syndrome was right. When everyone's super, no one will be.
That's it. I mean, for those of you who don't know what Enrique, we're talking about The Incredibles. Because once everybody's super, no one is. Once everyone's special, nobody is special. I mean, that's kind of the CW kind of approach to it. All right, what's next?
Power says, would a round 2 spoiler discussion be possible for those of us who missed the opportunity to chime in on No Way Home the first week?
No fucking chance in hell. And why? Why do I say it so adamantly? I'm going to let you guys in on something. So I've already done part 2. I sat down to do part 3 yesterday. I'll let you guys know about this. I sat down last night and started recording part 3 and my voice gave out about 10 or 15 minutes in. I do a very, very good job masking it, but my throat hurts. Like when I'm done a show, I grab like a tea, I sit on my couch and I don't speak for a couple of hours, really. And of course we had a long show yesterday and then I sat down to do it and started getting through and what. Now, the reason I say no effing way, and I shouldn't even let you guys know this, but here's the reality. After doing 3 hours of the first part of the spoiler discussion, and then doing another part 2, I still have 152 pages of questions to go.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Let me repeat that.
Holy cow.
I still have 152 pages to go. And I don't know how on earth I'm going to get through them all. Again, I tried to do part 3 last night and I couldn't. I'm going to take another shot today at getting through part 3. And I'll do my best, but it's been difficult when you're putting, 10 whatever hours into doing and prepping and everything, just the one show. And then to have another thing that you're doing. And then also knowing I need to stay up till midnight to watch because that's part of my job. It's not, I'm not complaining about it. It's part of my job. I need to do that. That's fine. But yes, so understanding that there are still so many questions to come, I cannot do another installment. I can't do a chapter 2 of Spider-Man Open Spoilers. Again, give us a couple weeks and then we'll talk open spoilery because by then almost everybody will have had a chance to see Spider-Man No Way Home. But yeah, there will not be a second live send in more spoiler questions for Spider-Man No Way Home, at least until we can start doing it on the show regularly in a couple of weeks. But anyway, there's that. So I gave you a little bit of behind the curtain look there. All right, what's next?
Jetfire97 says, hey, John, I realize that John Watts is the first director within the MCU to direct a complete trilogy.
That is true. Jon Favreau did not do Iron Man 3. The Russo brothers didn't do the first Captain America movie. There have been 3 different directors for all 3 of the Thor films. Taika Waititi is about to do his second film, but in the first 3 Thor films, they all had different directors. That's actually a really good point. I hadn't even thought about that. That's an excellent little bit of information there. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo says, even if Hugo Weaving wasn't in Matrix 4, Jonathan Groff did well, even if the movie sucked.
I'm glad you brought that up, Elizabeth. Yeah, because I don't want to make it sound like this dude was just a waste. He was perfectly good in the film. He absolutely was. And I'm glad you pointed that out. All right, what's next?
I couldn't watch it without hearing him say, you'll be back like before, because that was his role in Hamilton. And I was just waiting for him to sing.
By the way, can I just say, it's so weird. that the villain of a story is my favorite character in the story. King George in Hamilton. Like when Ann and I have gone to see Hamilton 5 times now.
Oh my gosh.
And
I'm so jealous.
Without exception,
I love
the
Hamilton.
biggest cheer in the audience is when King George walks on stage.
La 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 da 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 da.
Oh, like seriously, the biggest cheer.
I love it.
The biggest cheer every single time from the audience is when the villain walks on stage. It's so.
And he played it so brilliantly.
Oh, so good. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo said, oh, wait, no, I got her. MK Matt says, character development is vital to Star Wars. Even the OG films don't have mind-blowing craziness in the first 30 minutes, other than RTOS. I could spend 8+ seasons following Boba's story. Such a fantastic character.
I'm going to disagree with you here, MK Matt. We were introduced and we got to know Mando in the first episode of Mandalorian through what was going on screen. And I agree, you don't have to have mind-blowing craziness. But it's not, mind-blowing craziness is not necessarily the thing that's not the only thing that grabs your attention. That's not the only thing that hooks you into a story. Great moments of drama, great moments of conflict, great moments of dilemma, great moments of thrill, great moments of whatever. There's more to it. You can't waste an episode of just, here I am, I'm Boba Fett. This is my chair. And I walk around the streets with these guys and roll credits. Like you look at, we had great introduction and great foundation laid with the first episode of WandaVision. All that was in the first episode of Heroes. All of that and great introduction laying foundation was in the first episode of The Boys. So it's not one or the other. You got to be able to do both. That's why you get paid the big bucks. That's why assholes like me are sitting in a converted garage doing a YouTube video. And John Favreau is arriving in his, Maserati on Sunset to do, because he's the man. And if you couldn't do that, then release the first 2 episodes at once so we feel like we're getting that in our first experience. So I don't think it's something. No, I do not give a free pass to TV shows that start with nothing. And that's where I really felt this was.
Hey,
but anyway,
fair.
that's just me. All right, what's next?
Adam Henson says, if they do a Mortal Kombat sequel...
No, I think you missed out on Edmund.
On who?
Edmund, right under Adam Henson. There's Edmund.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have him reversed.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Okay.
Edmund Dantes says, he's not a real Mandalorian. Give that armor back.
I think they established in Mando that he is, because his father, and he's a genetic replication of his father. So I think he carries enough Mandalorian cred. He definitely does. He established that in Mandalorian season 2, at least for me. All right, what's next?
Adam Henson says, if they do a Mortal Kombat sequel, Gareth Evans should direct. What he did with the Raid movies was phenomenal. Can you imagine the action if he directed Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat with the Raid action? Sign me up.
It doesn't have to be Gareth. I mean, ex-director and ex-role. There are many, many, many directors who've directed fantastic action, right? And by the way, the big problem with Mortal Kombat was not the quality of the action.
Yeah, the
it was
action
just a
was
shit
good.
movie.
The action was good.
Yeah, the action was pretty good.
Uh-oh.
I had no problem with it. I really didn't. I think the action, I mean, look, was I completely blown away by the action in Mortal Kombat? No, but I thought the action in that movie was totally serviceable for a good action flick. The problem with it was just a bad movie. I mean,
Cole,
I mean, yeah, the whole idea of that was like, that upset a lot of people. By the way, Ray, I'm just saying we got nearly 2,500 votes and 57% of the people are saying you should watch Don't Look Up.
Oh.
So it's 57 to 43% for Matrix. So you got a choice to make there, buddy.
I might, man. Am I going to put myself in this hole of saying I might watch both?
Watch them both.
I'll watch them both.
Do both.
I'll watch Don't Look Up first.
There you go.
There you go.
The people have decided. You need to
Okay.
watch it first. But yeah, there you go. All right, next up.
Harris Servino says, Matrix 4 didn't feel like Matrix. The new technology for plugging in and the lack of green filter over the whole film made it feel like its own thing that wasn't Matrix.
You know what, Harris? I've got a lot of criticisms for Matrix 4. Not feeling like a Matrix movie wasn't one of them. Like I felt maybe to a fault. I mean, I never had a problem feeling like this is definitely a Matrix movie. Yeah, they changed things up. Things should change. Like, how much time has passed in that world? I think they said 60 years has passed since the events of Matrix 3. Is that what they were saying?
Is that what they said? Oh,
yeah, something like that. At any rate, so I again, I have a lot of criticisms for Matrix 4. I don't think it was a very good movie at all. But one of those criticisms isn't that it didn't feel like Matrix, but it didn't for you. So thanks for sharing that point of view, Harris. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo says, will there be an after show for Boba Fett?
Nope. I mean, we'll see what happens after episode 2, but literally, I remember thinking, because my plan was to do a Boba Fett after show today. That was the plan. And then I saw Boba Fett episode 1. I'm like, what's there to talk about?
Nothing to talk about, literally.
Wow. Those Gamorreans sure were green. What did you guys think about the shade of green they chose for the Gamorreans? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Apple, green, or moss? I don't know.
I mean, there was there was nothing to talk about. Man, whoo, see the way he climbed out of that sand? Woo!
Where do you think that onesie is from that he was wearing?
Yeah,
That was incredible.
white baby-
Incredible thread on that.
yeah, that was a big thread count on that. Woo! Like that's the thing I was gonna do an after show, but then I thought there's like literally nothing to talk about. So I decided now maybe we will after, like, I'll make that decision after watching episode 2. Whether, you know what, that means I really need to watch it at midnight when it comes out.
We're gonna watch it at midnight.
We'll give it one more week.
It looked like because how it cut off, it was like, oh, let's go. Like,
yeah, so
it
everything
looked like it's about to start.
Yeah,
but
if
if it's the same, then I'll be here in the morning on Wednesday.
yeah. So okay. So yes, we'll do it midnight. We will watch it midnight next week, and then make a decision if we're going to do a post game show, open spoiler discussion for the next day. But like again, it was just there was like nothing to talk about.
Pajama Fett.
Man, do you see Pajama Fett?
That's what it is. Pajama Fett.
All right.
Oh, so much
Sponsored
cheese.
by Oshkosh McCosh.
All right, what's next?
Hayden Wilson says, the fight scenes in the Batman trailer look so smooth and not so choppy, and I love it. Can't wait to see it in a few months.
I'm losing my mind for this Batman movie. Like I've been look, initial disappointment that it's not gonna be Ben Affleck. Can't be Ben Affleck. You got Matt Reeves. That's pretty damn cool. I love the casting of Robert Pattinson. Got really pissed off when he did his thing. Yeah, I'm not working out for Batman. Oh my God, that pissed me off. Then it came out. No, I'm joking. Oh, okay, fine. But man, because if he decided he wasn't gonna work out, then I think everybody would be completely justified and be pissed. But I have loved his casting from the day they cast him. Then that first trailer came out that they showed at what's it, DC Fandom last year. It's like, and that was only based on like having shot 20% of the movie. I'm like, that looks great. And then the next 2 trailers, they showed us some footage at CinemaCon, and I'm like, I am losing my mind for this. I am not saying that it's going to be as good as The Dark Knight. I'm not saying it's going to be as good as The Dark Knight. What I'm saying is it looks like it has the potential to be as good as The Dark Knight. I mean, that's how good this looks so far. The whole idea about he is the monster in people's nightmares, in criminals' nightmares. Like he is Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. If you're a criminal in Gotham, he's Jason Voorhees. And they just, the way they play that and the horror of it and everything, I am so in.
Jason Voorhees, but isn't he what, John? Twilight Boy?
Twilight Boy!
Come
Jason.
on, you got to do it at least once
Twilight
every day.
Boy.
Oh my God.
With his emo hair. He's rocking some emo hair. I admit he is rocking a little bit of emo hair in this thing, a little bit. All right, what's next?
Cynthia says, parkour in Star Wars is ridiculous, in my opinion. Oy vey.
Yeah, look, I agree. It like having a parkour move or two would have been cool, but again, like I said, it felt like who's directed the episode again? I just said his name. Robert Rodriguez. It felt like Rodriguez like got a couple really good parkour guys and said, well, I paid them for the day, so I might as well get full use out of them. Let's do an entire sequence of parkour. I mean, that's what, all right, what's next?
Ulatan says, have any of you watched Gymkhana?
Oh, we've talked about Gymkhana on the show many times.
If so, what are your thoughts with a studio attempting to make an Olympic gymnast, Kurt Thomas, into an action star?
I mean, we've talked about Gymkhana a lot. I mean, it is profoundly cheesy, that movie. He gets on that like some barn has an exact replica of like the pommel horse. Is that what it's called? This guy thing, and he's like doing it and like kicking everybody in the face. I thought it was utterly ridiculous. I mean, I look back on it fondly because I watched the hell out of that on a VHS tape when I was a kid. But yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous at the same time. But a special place in our hearts nonetheless. All right, what's next?
Purple Haze 4564 says, hey, whatever happened to thoughts on walks? Also, I sent in a tip link about Spider-Man No Way Home. I understand you can't answer it. Can you save it?
Oh, no, sorry. Like if you sent in a Spider-Man spoiler question that came in the tip link, stuff like that, those just got taken out. The amount, like I just don't have time to go through administratively and take questions from there and open up the other lists and put it, like, it's just not, I don't have time to do that. So it probably just got omitted, because I even put, when you go to the tip link, it even says right in the box, do not submit Spider-Man spoiler questions here. It says it right there. So I appreciate you giving me the heads up, Purple Haze, but it's probably already gone at this point. Just to let you know. Anyway, all right, what's next? Final one, I think.
I have two more.
Okay.
John Redcorn says, Doolittle was so bad, it didn't even get a Kids' Choice Award.
What? Why? Don't you understand? Ghostbusters got a Kids' Choice
It's because
Award.
Robert Downey couldn't be in attendance. That's the only reason. Right? Like we were talking about.
Oh, let's not nominate it. Let's not nominate.
It's like all the winners are miraculous. You know, they're there.
Like none of the other nominees are here. But the nominee who won was there. What are the odds
Exactly.
of that? I mean, yeah. Listen, I still remember I took Aaron Cummings. Aaron Cummings came with me to the press screening. And by the way, Aaron sends her love to everybody. I took Aaron Cummings to the screening of it, and we didn't talk throughout the movie. And I remember the movie ending, and Aaron and I just looked at each other, and kind of a moment of silence. I'm like, well, that was awful. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you said something, because I didn't know whether, because I didn't want to seem ungrateful that you brought me, but oh my God, that was so bad. Oh my God, that movie's so bad. Like with the talent list they had and the money they had to put behind it, like I still can't get over it.
Worse than the Zookeeper?
Worse than Zookeeper. Worse than Zookeeper. Absolutely. I actually thought Zookeeper had a few upsides. I mean, it was a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. Zookeeper is bad. All right. You said I don't have it on my list. What do you got last?
I've got a last one from John Redcorn. He says, oh, you know what? It's a copy. Never mind. It's a copy from an earlier question. It disappeared on my list. I don't know.
All right, guys. With that down, we're going to move over and start taking the questions you guys have sent in via the tip link. But before we do, we're going to just, as we're rounding out hour two here, sending in the second half of hour two, we're going to take a quick little short break here, refill our drinks, stretch out our legs, give you guys a chance to run and use the bathroom, talk amongst yourselves. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back. And we are back. Thank you, everybody, for your patience and indulgence as we took a little bit of a break there. But for now, let's get on over and start taking your questions. Remember, if you guys are watching this anytime other than we're live and you want to send in a question for the show, simply use the tip link that's down in the description and send one on in. Or you can enter it manually at streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your question read on a show or an upcoming companion video if we deem your question appropriate to be used on our show, of course. And we thank everybody for supporting our channel. All right, Kim, let's get on over to those questions that got sent in. What do we got up first here?
All right, this first one is from Kybercast. Hey, John and friends, do you think that the Kingpin from Hawkeye could be the same as Daredevil if he blipped and came back only to start at the bottom and work his way back up? Maybe that's why he's running the tracksuit mafia.
Unfortunately, he was running the track. This Kingpin was running the tracksuit mafia before the blip. Because this Kingpin, remember they did the flashback when Echo was a little girl and he was already Uncle? And he was already just, it was him in the tracksuit mafia, which is not what that Kingpin was in Daredevil. So it's not like I've heard people try to make the excuse for it saying, well, you know, after the blip, he had to start from nothing. And so that's why he's with the tracksuit mafia. Except that Hawkeye established he already was the tracksuit mafia before the blip. So that's something you got to keep in mind. All right, what's next?
Garden Variety Vagabond says, John, I agree that the Echo storyline in the Hawkeye fails to impress or promote her own show. And it at first led me to agree that it may be a cover for something else. But then I learned due to COVID, much of her story was not shot. Might have helped things.
Might have. But then what we got was completely unimpressive. I mean, I honestly, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. We came up with an idea before the show started. If Marvel were to do something they've never done, and just, if the Tracksuit Mafia had their own movie review YouTube channel, I would watch that all day. I would watch that YouTube channel all day.
Matrix, no thanks.
Not classic. Not classic. If they had the Tracksuit Mafia who did their own YouTube movie reviews, that's my day would be done. That's all I would be doing all day. But I mean, I'm more interested in the Tracksuit Mafia.
Yeah.
Than I am in Echo. I mean,
They're
just
great.
because you can do everything you want to do with the character, she was still on screen a lot. And it's just, I don't care about this character right now. Anyway, but we'll see what they're able to do moving forward. Okay, what's next?
All right, Julie says, hey, John and crew, I really wanted to like Hawkeye. I like the Christmas movie setting, the comedy, and the tender moments. However, to me, the story was too messy with too many villains and hazy motivations. The biggest disappointment for me was not diving into Laura's character. Not that I wanted another plot line, but teasing us with the watch and ability to access intel for Clint didn't make sense to those of us who didn't know she was Mockingbird.
Hey, listen, it still made total sense. Like they have hinted, they were hinting through the show, you know, his wife isn't just some wallflower he picked up at the local 7-Eleven. Like, I mean, it would be a different kind of person. They kind of delved into that, and I thought that was great. Honestly, this movie didn't need another storyline. And I thought it was a big mistake for them. Like, really, the entire MacGuffin of the show, the watch, it was all just set up for the end of the thing, a little bit of a tiny reveal at the end. Oh, she's Mockingbird. When most people watching have never even heard of Mockingbird. So, I mean, yeah, I thought that was a mistake. I thought it was a mistake they handled that. All right, what's next?
Shekel Money says, hey, John, big fan from Israel.
Thank you, man.
I have a Star Wars question I never understood. Does the Stormtrooper from the original trilogy are the clones from the prequels? If not, what happened to the clones? Thank you very much for your work.
No, they are not. By the time we get into the original Star Wars trilogy, New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi, by the time you get there, they've gotten rid of all the clones and they are just regular human troops. What happened to them is covered and discussed, I believe, in Rebels and what's it called? Bad Batch. They cover that. But yeah, eventually they just replaced all the clones with human soldiers. All right, what's next?
Phoebe says, hey, John, so just as one circus ends with Spidey, another begins with Multiverse of Madness. There are rumors of Shang-Chi appearing in the film and crazier ideas.
I mean, there's going to be rumors of every single MCU character that will pop up in it.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I doubt we're going to see Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange. I don't see how that fits unless the 10 rings are somehow completely interconnected to all that, which they might do. I'm going to guess for now that he's not going to be in it, but it wouldn't be totally shocking if he was. All right, what's next?
Jabin Carter says, "Hi, John. I agree with you that public spoilers are fair game on social media. However, I don't think YouTube thumbnails should be considered social media. Live chats? Sure. The actual content of the videos? Sure. But the thumbnails? No. Your thoughts?"
So what are you saying? The public spoilers are fair game on social media?
Yeah, he agrees with you with everything, but the thumbnail thing,
Yeah, look, I again, it all depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about a movie where you literally got to go out of your way, you got to travel to a movie theater, all that kind of stuff? Or are we talking about something that is publicly released information? Once a TV show airs, it's publicly available information. It's common knowledge at this point. And YouTube is, by definition, YouTube lists itself as a social media outlet. That's how they classify themselves. So, yeah, look, if I don't want to know the score of, the Buccaneers football game last week until I had a chance to watch my recording of the game, then I got to stay off Twitter. I got to stay off YouTube. I got to stay off everything. Because again, like when, blah, 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 I don't know, like when Cyril Gagné and has his big heavyweight title fight in the UFC next week, if I can't watch the fight live, then I got to stay off YouTube, because 5 minutes after that fight's over, they're going to be headlines and YouTube videos and thumbnails of Cyril Gagné getting his hand raised with the UFC heavyweight belt and stuff like that, because it's publicly broadcast. It's probably, so I personally think that's open game. It's different between movies and television, but yeah,
that's the
my thoughts.
toughest thing to navigate, John, because I do that all the time with boxing, because boxing is always on at random times.
Yeah.
And I have my DVR to record every single thing. And if there's an important fight I want to see, I'm like, okay, or like I didn't record and I have to try to find it. I want to try to find the fight, online, but not see the results. And every thumbnail is the results. Like the first thing I'll hit will be like, oh, after the fight interview with, and then that tells me, oh, that's the winner.
The winning fight interview.
It doesn't say winner, but just knowing that fighter got interviewed, most likely
with a big
he won.
smile on his face,
right.
and
So
holding a belt over his shoulder.
It's very tough to navigate the internet at all without running into spoilers.
So that's why I believe, like I said, I got spoiled for Sons of Anarchy when Opie died. I got spoiled for that, but that's my fault. If I couldn't watch a show when it dropped, and I'm going to watch it the next day or whatever, then that's on me to stay off social media, because that was publicly broadcast. It's public knowledge now. And the rules are different than between that and movies. At least that's my take on it at any rate. All right, what's next?
Sue Chef Pleasures says, "JC and crew, thank you for everything you do."
Chef Pleasures has a suit.
Yeah.
Wow, just finished watching season 3 of Daredevil, and I don't know what to say, John. I think it's better than all Disney Plus shows. Murdoch is awesome and Kingpin is menacing. Would love to hear your ranking on the Disney Plus MCU shows plus DD.
Yeah, I don't do rankings, but I will say this. I think WandaVision is the best of them all.
Oh gosh, yeah. Dope.
But I think WandaVision is the best of them all. I think then maybe Mandalorian, and then maybe Daredevil. But Daredevil and Mandalorian are so close there, I could swap those two. Like I could put Daredevil. Look, bottom line is this. Daredevil's awesome. And I personally think season 3 was the best season. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, and that's fine, but I loved season 3. It was absolutely fantastic. So I still think WandaVision is probably the best thing out of all that, but I would rank Daredevil very, very high. Like very, very high if I were to do full rankings on that. All right, what's next?
All right, Garden Variety Vagabond says, "John, I feel the reason for banning food due to COVID is not due to hands touching it. It's that you need to take your mask off to eat."
Yeah, I had a few people write to me after the last episode where I said, I guess you never know how many people are handling, and you're pressing the buttons on the Coke machine that 1,000 other hands have been touching or whatever. And I do think that is a part of it. But you're right. That is a massive thing that I probably overlooked, was the fact that, they say if you're in the movie theater and you're eating your popcorn, you can have your mask down. Well, they're saying, look, if you're going to be in a public place, you got to keep the mask on. But if that's the reason, then you also got to shut down restaurants. Because in restaurants, you got to have your mask off to eat. So I think it's probably a culmination of things about both the mask and the fact that like all the theaters have those Coke machines that are self-serve and everybody's touching the same thing or whatever. I know it's probably an amalgamation of things, but that's a good thing to point out.
There's going to be a weird invention that's going to be made in the upcoming weeks of like it holds popcorn on one side and soda on the other side of the mask.
And it goes through your mask.
On your mask.
All right, what's next?
Garden Variety Vagabond says John, so did WB make a good decision releasing their movies in 2021? They released 20 movies from all of WB for a total of 607,412,196. Marvel and Marvel alone made 2 times, releasing 5 films for a total of 1,255,495,845. And my gut says Spidey will make more.
Yeah, so that's not even counting Spider-Man. Look, no, we've all known. I mean, the data's all there. It's irrefutable. It's one of the most idiotic decisions in the history of Hollywood, what Warner Brothers did in 2020. Or 2021, I should say. It is one of the most idiotic decisions ever, and it has cost them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's one of the reasons why the CEO of Warner Brothers, Jason Kilar, is going to be shit-canned the moment Discovery takes over. The moment Discovery takes ownership of this, probably sometime mid-2022, he'll be gone. And there's no foundation for an argument. It was absolutely a mistake. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Nimela says, Campea and crew, just saw No Way Home on Christmas Day. It's the best Marvel comic book movie ever made. Dream Spider-Man movie that doesn't even feel real. John Watts did the impossible. Just amazing. Enough said, Campea.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know that I have it in the top 5 MCU stuff. Like, I mean, it might be in the top 5. I mean, up there, in no particular order, the original Avengers, Winter Soldier, Civil War. I have Shang-Chi in the top 5 at this point. I don't know if I would put No Way Home above Infinity War Endgame. So maybe Infinity War Endgame might have that 5th spot. I don't know. But look, bottom line is it's great. I've already gone to see it a couple times. I'm going to see it a couple more times. I'm glad you had so much fun with it, man. All right. What's next?
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Nova says, adjusted for inflation, top 10, Force Awakens. 2.22 billion, 9.
No,
Oh,
4.22
God.
billion.
Sorry, billion.
Yeah.
9. Dr. Zvago. 2.25 billion. 8. 10 Commandments. 2.37 billion. 7. E.T. 2.51. 6. Sound of Music. 2.57. 5. Endgame. 2.83. 4. New Hope. 3.07. 3. Titanic. 3.11. 2. Avatar. 3.3. And 1. Gone with the Wind. 3.75.
That is all very interesting information. But of course, counting for inflation is useless. There's no point in counting for inflation. It's actually very deceptive to try to do a thing by inflation because inflation is only one variable. And we've had this argument a lot, but it's absolutely true. You want to take into consideration one of the variables, then you need to take into consideration the other variables. Like a lot of these movies have come out in eras when only one new movie would come out a week versus 4 or 5. A lot of these movies came out when there was not a competition for the entertainment dollar like there is today. Like, so what would a movie today have made if it wasn't for the fact that home console video game playing takes up $7 billion a year of people's entertainment money? What would it have been then? How much money would 10 Commandments have made if there was Disney Plus and Showtime and Stars and HBO Max and Amazon Prime? How much money would the 10 Commandments have made if all those other entertainment options were available? Like, here's the thing. You can't cherry pick out one variable and say, well, this is what, no. If you're going to pull out the variable of inflation, then you're going to have to start taking into consideration all the other major significant variables. And that's why, to me, it's completely pointless to talk about inflation, because value of money changes, the ticket prices change, the amount of competition changes, television, other entertainment alternatives change, where the culture is at the time changes. All of that varies into it. And so to say, let's look at inflation and ignore all the other factors that involve box office is folly. There's no point. So you either got to take all the variables into consideration or you got to take none of them in. And I think the best, cleanest way to do it is just not really consider any of them. It is still very interesting information, though, Dr. Nova, that you put in there. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Nimela says, hello, Campea. The movies are back. In my theater for No Way...
now.
My theater for No Way Home was full of people, still during the trailers. This madness for IMAX screening at AMC Regency 24 in Jacksonville, Florida. Wow. 2 years, we back to being epic. Excelsior.
I mean, yeah. And it felt great. It felt great going to the movie theater. Both times I went to go see No Way Home and seeing a full, not just the auditorium theater, but the whole movie theater complex filled with people having fun, lining up and getting popcorn. I don't know how much longer we're going to have that. I mean, we might be heading for another lockdown. Maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully, but I mean, God, I don't want them to delay Morbius. No, I'm so excited for Morbius. I'm fearing they're going to delay it for more, but I don't know. We'll see.
The fear. You want to know something funny? I saw Sing 2 last night, and it was weird. This lady, I was watching her walk out with a box of popcorn, and she turned to me and said, "Oh, don't judge me. Me and my husband were too afraid to come back to the theaters, but we missed the movie theater popcorn." And so she came for the popcorn and didn't see a movie and left because she said that now with everything is happening, she's like afraid to come back. And I was like, shoot, I don't want to go through this again.
All right, what's next?
Scott Brown says, Matrix flopped hard, and I think the same thing could happen to Avatar 2.
Totally different situations.
Both are no longer relevant pop culture-wise, and both had huge amounts of time in between sequels. Plus, Matrix was way more popular in its heyday. I don't think anyone cares about Avatar.
You know, it's so funny hearing all these people talk about no one cares. Oh, no, they do. When Avatar comes up, a lot of average film fans are very, very excited about Avatar. Look, does it carry the same pop cultural reference that it did in the first year or two that came out? No. Do I think Avatar is going to crack $3 billion at the box office and be the new world record holder? No. Do I think it's going to be $1 billion film? No questions asked. No questions asked.
Wow.
But you're missing the most important difference, Scott, between Matrix and Avatar. Avatar didn't have 2 other Avatar films came out that people hated. That's a big piece of this puzzle.
Oh, there's time for that.
Yeah,
they're setting up for that right now.
Right now, like it's not like there was The Matrix and there was Avatar, and then neither of them had anything else, and then Matrix 4 came out and flopped. No, there was a Matrix 2 and a Matrix 3 that people really didn't like. Now, I like Matrix 2. Personally, I like it. I like it more than most people do. But a lot of people do not like Matrix 2. And almost everybody hated Matrix 3. And then you had all these years and years and years and years and years. Avatar hasn't had that. The last time people were in the movie theaters for Avatar, people loved it. It's still today the #1 box office movie of all time. And a lot of people forget, yes, it did take the crown back from Endgame. So it's the #1 box office film of all time. People loved it. It was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. I'm glad it didn't win, but I mean, it deserved a nomination for Best Picture. And so, the situations between Matrix and Avatar. Now, I'm not saying Avatar is going to make $2 billion at the box office. I don't think it will. But it's going to make a lot of money. And any thought that nobody cares about Avatar, oh, you're going to be really surprised when this movie opens. If it ever opens. Because they've had like 18 different date pushes. It's like, who knows when it's ever going to freaking come out at this point. But it is a very, very different set of circumstances from Matrix. All right, what's next?
Tim Platt says, I am a football fan today because of John Madden.
Yeah.
He made watching the games fun and easy to learn. The video games were awesome, and I spent way too much time playing them. RIP to a true legend, and in my opinion, the best thing to ever happen to the game.
He is so iconic to the game. I got to tell you something. One of the reasons my heart, I feel like I connect with John Madden in many ways. Not everybody knows this. I'm terrified of flying. I hate flying. I read it. I have a fear of heights. A fear of heights. Now, I will fly. Every time, if I need to go somewhere, I'll get on a plane and fly. And if you were sitting right beside me, you would think I was totally calm, cool, and collected. But inside, I'm The whole time. That's inside my head. I'll just be sitting there. But in my head, I'm like, God, I hate flying. I really do. I have a fear of heights. So, but I will get, I don't let it stop me from actually getting on a plane and fly over the place. John Madden, he was doing Monday Night Football, having to travel all across the country, and he never flew. They actually got him his own big party bus, and he would literally, if he had one game in New York and his next game he had to call was in Los Angeles, got on the party bus and drove across the country. He drove to every game he covered.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he had a staff and everything that was on the things with him, but yeah.
John Madden actually made the Madden games. Well, the last couple of Madden games, they're kind of bad, but the reason why they're so in depth with like all the plays and stuff like that is because he
did the commentary.
He went in there and showed the video game developers the plays and stuff like that. And that's the story. Like he was on a train actually working on meeting the developers of Madden, and they were going over stuff on a train because he was afraid to fly. So I just thought it was a funny story.
And he for his whole career, he always rode the bus.
Oh my God.
Rode the bus his whole career. That's the only. I was like, man, if I had that kind of money to have a full staff driving me and have my own luxury party bus, I'd do that too. All right, what's next?
Nosferatu says, I saw this cute girl near a giant pendulum. I was going to ask her out, but then I realized that this thing could go either way.
All right, I'll give the drum shot for it. All right, what's next?
Big Will says, hey, John and crew, I saw No Way Home opening day. So for a Christmas gift, I took my nieces and nephews to go see it. My 9-year-old nephew was sitting next to me, and watching him react to the spoilers was enough to make a grown man cry. A proud spider nerd. Hashtag bring on the filthy.
There is, I'll tell you what movie, Ray, was it that you and I went to go see, and we ended up sitting beside that father and son. His had a little kid. Was it Endgame?
It was
Infinity War.
Yeah, it was Infinity War.
Infinity War. That's right.
Yeah.
So Ray and I go to see Infinity War, and we're sitting in the theater beside this dad and his like maybe 5-year-old kid, right? And it's like Ray, I don't know what it is. Ray's got away with kids.
Yeah.
Kids love Ray.
Yeah, they do.
They really, really do. So Ray leans over to this kid and goes, who's your favorite character? Thanos.
No, because he was really sad afterwards. You know what happened.
So don't skip ahead. So skip ahead. So the beginning of the movie, he's like leaning over. Who's your favorite character? Thanos. It's like, all right, I don't know if you're gonna be feeling that way by the end. And then sure enough, the end of the movie comes and Thanos is killing him, and the kid is really upset.
He's fucking onto his dad's leg.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm like, bro, aw. It's all right. It's all right.
Ray's trying to comfort the kid and everything. It's like, who's your favorite character? Before the movie starts, Thanos. And then who's that?
Yeah, he was in pieces afterwards.
Yep, not a good sight. It wasn't a good sight. All right, what's next?
Oh, Big Will says, hey, John and crew. So I'm a diehard Lakers fan. So did you see the trailer for HBO Max's Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty? It will focus on the Showtime Lakers from the 1980s on and off the court. It's starring John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss.
Yeah, we talked about
bring on them filthy.
We've talked about this on the show a little while ago. It looks great. I didn't think it sounded, to be honest, I didn't think it sounded very interesting. But then I saw that trailer. I'm like, I am all in on this. Mm-hmm. And here's, apparently, this is the show that ended the relationship between Adam McKay and Will Ferrell. Mm-hmm. Will Ferrell was supposed to play Dr. Buss. And then Adam McKay cast John C. Reilly instead.
Oh.
And apparently that is what ended their relationship. Apparently, I mean, I don't want to get, I don't know all the detail. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but I'm just saying from the stuff that I've read, like commentary from Adam McKay, it sounds like McKay was saying that hurt Will way more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And John C. Reilly called Will Ferrell as a gentleman because, you know, they're close.
Yeah, they've worked a lot together.
Because I guess Adam McKay didn't tell him. So he heard it from John C.
Yeah, it's not good that you don't hear from your own business partner. So I don't know. But look, okay, all that drama aside.
The drama.
It looks great. And I cannot wait to see it. All right, what's next?
confused just a bit, says, you say Marvel shows are becoming mediocre. According to Rotten Tomatoes.
Time out for a second. I never said Marvel shows are becoming mediocre. That's never come out of my mouth. All right, what's next?
Continue.
Damn. According to Rotten Tomatoes, WandaVision 91 through 86, Falcon Winter Soldier 89 through 82, Loki 92 through 90, Hawkeye 92 through 90. According to the data, they're hitting on all cylinders with critics and average audiences. What am I missing, or is this your opinion?
No, well, first of all, everything is your opinion. Everything when it comes to art and movies and everything is just opinion. Look, and here's the thing. If you were to ask me, is Falcon and Winter Soldier, remember, all Rotten Tomatoes does is tell you what percentage of people say it's thumbs up and what percentage of people say it's thumbs down. That's all Rotten Tomatoes tells us. That's why I like Rotten Tomatoes so much. And if you were to ask me, is Falcon and Winter Soldier a thumbs up show or a thumbs down show? It's a thumbs up show for me. I like it. So I would be one of those positive reviews. If you were to ask me, is Loki a thumbs up show or a thumbs down show? It's a thumbs up. I like Loki. I did. I like the show. There are things about it I didn't, but overall, I like the show. I am one of the thumbs up. I am one of the thumbs up of Black Widow. I liked Black Widow. It's a thumbs up. The difference is we spent like 10 years or more. I mean, of course, there was Iron Man 3, and of course, there was Thor 3, but for over 10 years, I just grew accustomed to when you got the last 5 Marvel projects, I probably absolutely loved at least 4 of them. Probably all 5. Again, Iron Man 3, Thor 3, notwithstanding, stuff like that.
Thor 2, you mean?
Thor 2, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok was fantastic. Sorry, yes, Thor 2. Thank you, Ray. And that's just what I'm used to. Well, now, it's a little bit different. Like, I love WandaVision, and I love Shang-Chi, and I love Spider-Man No Way Home. But intermixed in all that, there was also Falcon Winter Soldier, which I liked, but I didn't love. Loki, which I like. I'd be one of those thumbs up people, but I didn't love. Black Widow, which I liked, but didn't love. Eternals, which I quite liked, but I didn't passionately love it. And Hawkeye, which I just didn't like Hawkeye. So whatever, that's fine. But now, instead of 5 out of 5 or 7 out of 7 or 7 out of 8, I've got 3 out of the last 8 that I loved. I still liked most of it. I did. To me, that is a degradation. Marvel has not become mediocre. I mean, it's still, I out of the last 8 things they've put out, I've only disliked one thing. But I'm just accustomed to loving 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8. I've loved 3 out of the last 8. Still like it, but just liking it is a little bit of a downgrade to me. So again, don't misinterpret the Rotten Tomatoes things. I would be on the positive side of Rotten Tomatoes for most of that stuff. I would be also a thumbs up person. But yeah, to me, the overall quality of Marvel, despite WandaVision, WandaVision, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Shang-Chi, overall, I feel it coming down a little bit. Maybe just because their plate is too full at this point. I don't know.
It's really hard for any studio to keep that level.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Not just hard, impossible.
Yeah, because ideas get sometimes reused and things like that, and people get tired of it. It's one of those things where I think you should expect there's going to be you can't expect Steph Curry to hit 30 for 30 every night. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Exactly. But when you get used to, here's the problem. I remember watching this one game. I was watching the highlights of this one game, and I think it was this a couple of years ago. LeBron had 15 points in the game. So and the commentator was, LeBron, LeBron really struggled. He really struggled. So it's like most players get 15 points. That was a really good, productive game for that player. LeBron had 15. It's like, the world is ending. What's gone wrong? Yeah. And that's good. Like, the problem with Marvel being so outrageously good for so long,
testament to them,
is that when it becomes kind of a little bit more mortal, it it feels like it's a step down, right? And
right.
that's it being a victim of its own incredible success. So I don't know, that's just kind of my take on it. All right, what's next?
Okay, so Andy Huang says, I went to the movies on Christmas Day and some guy parked his vehicle in the exact middle part of 2 parking lanes when I arrived.
Time for keys to come out.
Oh, no, John.
No, I never
Don't
know.
do that,
I'm kidding.
man.
I am kidding, but no, that does piss me off when I see that. Especially, like, it's one thing if it's a Maserati, but I've seen that where, like, some guy's Dodge Colt is like some piece of crap. By the way, I drove a Dodge Colt, but some piece of crap Dodge Colt, like, taking up 2 parking spaces. That's infuriating. Sorry, keep going.
There was plenty of parking, but it was still a douche move. Wanted to call him out on it, but I didn't want to excoriate him in front of his kids. Next day, I saw American Underdog. 10 Gen Zs sitting on the same top row as me were clearly obnoxious and loud. They were turning on flashlights, going through their phones, taking calls, talking to each other. They also kept walking in and out of the movie, and whenever they did, they stomped so loudly up and down the stairs. They acted like they owned the place. I would have called them out, but I remembered John's advice of getting a theater employee. I approached customer service 15 minutes after the film started and found out they didn't even buy any tickets according to their reserved seating chart. The employees removed them, although they left a stupid mess behind. I didn't mind that they snuck their way into this movie because there were only 9 other people in there, but they should have at least had enough respect and common sense not to disrupt other people's viewing experience. I didn't want a direct confrontation, so thanks so much for the employee advice, John.
I have been very lucky that I feel like 1 out of every 100 of my movie going experiences have a problem like that. Like, it's actually, I mean, it happened a lot more when I was younger, but I feel like lately it's like 1 out of every maybe 50 to 100 times I get something like that.
Yeah.
But it is infuriating when something like that happens, especially when it's like a bunch of kids and whatever,
Or it's me.
or it's Ray. The only noise Ray makes in movie theaters.
I know.
Like, somebody wake up Ray. But you ever watch like a prison movie where it's like a guy will casually walk up beside somebody else, and then when no one else is looking, pull out a little shiv and go,
Oh my God.
like, that's what I feel like doing to people like that. It's like, I'll just casually make my way over to kind of sit awkwardly beside one of the teenagers. And then when something exciting happens on screen,
Oh my God. You're going to go Joe
man.
Pesci on someone.
Joe-
Good
totally Joe
with your
Pesci.
West Side Story
gracious.
song.
Holy crap.
now, of course, I would never do that. And of course, I'm not encouraging that for anybody. But
No,
I'm saying
no.
that's what you kind of like envision. It's like, shut the fuck up. But no, you did the exact right thing, man. The exact right thing is don't stay quiet about that. If somebody's in there ruining your movie going experience and ruining everybody else's movie going experience who paid money, paid babysitters, traveled to the theater and got to be there, they have the right to be free of that kind of bullshit. You did the exact right thing. You go out, you tell one of the theater employees and let them deal with it. And so you did the exact right same thing, man. Yes, you did the exact right same thing. Don't take my facetious joke as serious, but yes, you did the right thing.
Someone
All right.
said that's your origin story right there, your villain origin.
My villain origin story.
The movie Electrocutioner.
Movie guy.
All right, what's next?
Rob Mack says, you've mentioned before that you think if Jessica Jones or Luke Cage shows up in the MCU, they'll be played by different actors. But what about Punisher? Like Vincent D'Onofrio, I think John Bernthal was born to play Punisher. He is so unbelievable as Frank Castle that I don't think anyone else should play him anytime soon. Over under 50% chance that if Punisher shows up in the MCU, that he is played by John Bernthal.
I love the Punisher on Netflix. I love it. And John Bernthal is great. I don't think he was born to play Punisher. He was really, really good. I don't even think he's the best Punisher we've had. I personally think the best Punisher we've had was, and it wasn't the best Punisher movie, but he was great. It was the one
Warzone?
Punisher Warzone.
With Ray
Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Yep.
I love that movie. I actually love that.
I love that movie.
I thought
too.
it was great. What was wrong with it?
Yeah, a lot of people hated Punisher Warzone. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was great. I think Punisher Warzone is a lot of fun. Very, very violent.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
That's why.
And for Punisher. But anyway, I actually thought I think he's the best. Again, the Punisher show is amazing. John Bernthal is amazing. He's fantastic in it. But I don't put him on that very, very, very rare. Like, I've only got 4 guys in that comic book world of born to play that role. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
Oh, totally.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I don't put John Bernthal on that level, but he's great. So I think there's a shot that Bernthal becomes one of the characters they bring over, one of the actors they bring over, I should say. I think there's a shot of it. I'd still take under 50%, but I think there's a shot.
I don't think the MCU is set up for Punisher, though, to be honest. Like, the violence it brings,
it'd be challenging.
And plus all that other stuff that went on. I'm not trying to get political with all the, I think they were.
Oh yeah, like all
too.
the controversy with the Punisher. It might be a headache that Kevin Feige doesn't need right now. So yeah, but I if they did bring the character over, I go under 50%. That's John Bernthal, but not 5%. But I'd take under 50. All right, what's next?
Okay, Tim Tracy says, "Hi, John. So, with No Way Home officially crossing the $1 billion mark, it begs the question of which, if any, movie will be next to do so. We have a new Aquaman, Jurassic World Dominion, Across the Spider-Verse, Thor 4, Black Panther 2, The Batman."
Wow, that's
a great question.
Okay, so let's for a second say all other things will be equal, and then we're not going to be thrust into the darkness of another big pandemic lockdown for whenever these movies come. So let's just say level playing field. There are a couple on there that I think will cross $1 billion.
Wow,
the one I think has the best chance is Thor 4.
Oh,
I think Thor 4 has the best chance. For the Spider-Verse one is animated, so that's going to hurt it. Right? Like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think is the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. I mean, I go back and forth between that and Spider-Man 2, but for today, I'll say it's the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. But I mean, and it did okay, but it only made can you look up the box office for Spider-Man? But I think it was in the high 300s, mid to high 300s, I think. So it didn't, but it's an animated superhero film, right? It's not Pixar, like The Incredibles. So I think that's going to hurt it. The Batman, this is the first time out for a new one. There's going to be a little bit of confusion about the Ben Affleck thing. It's tied to the DC stuff.
375.
So yeah, that's right where I thought Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse was. So I don't think the Batman's going to bank $1 billion. I think it's a chance. I don't think it will. Black Panther 2, it's not Chadwick Boseman. I think that's going to turn a bunch of people off. I think it's going to make big money, but I don't think it's going to cross $1 billion. I hope it does though. Jurassic World Dominion would be the next one that I think has the best chance.
That's my pick.
People love going to see these giant dinosaur movies, man. They just love going to see them.
And you've got the original crew.
And you got the old and the original crew back.
And we've been waiting for that.
I think that's going to be the closest to $1 billion. I don't think any of these movies are going to make $1 billion. To be honest.
So you don't think Thor 4 will either?
I think the closest to $1 billion will probably be the Jurassic.
Right, and then you got Aquaman, which the first one made $1 billion. I don't know that the second one makes $1 billion. I think maybe gets close, but even the fine line of, so I don't know. I don't think it does, but I think it has a chance. I do think it has a chance. So, but I think if I had to put my money on one, I think it would be Thor 4. That's the one, because you got everything. The last movie was incredibly beloved. The star and the director are back. I think this has turned into a beloved, fun character. People loved Thor in Infinity War and Endgame.
And is Christian Bale in it?
Yep, and Christian Bale.
The return of the Bale.
Yeah,
you know what? You might be right. I might change my thing too.
That's right. And you got Lady Thor.
We haven't seen Bale for a while.
Not in the comic book movie. Yep. Nope, not since Bats.
I'm excited for that.
So I'm going to go with Thor 4 being the biggest.
Do that. Let's do Thor 4 then.
All right. What's next? Thor Watch. All right,
Johnny says, "Hey team, hope all is well. Sorry, John, but I disagree with you about Clint and Yelena's confrontation. In the post-credit scene in Black Widow, Valentina told Yelena Clint was responsible for Natasha's death. And throughout the show, it was made clear that she thinks Clint killed Natasha. She implied that as well in the scene with Kate in her apartment. So while we, the viewers, know Natasha sacrificed herself, not everyone in the MCU did. Yelena included. Thanks for indulging me and stay safe."
There are two big problems with what you're suggesting, Johnny. Problem number one, the world knows that Nat sacrificed herself. That became public knowledge. Nat sacrificed herself to save the world. That became public knowledge. So you can say that Elena didn't believe it. She believed Clint was responsible.
That's right.
Right? You can say that. Valentina convinced her that Clint was ultimately responsible for the death of her sister. Okay, fine. Let's assume that for a second. So all it took was for the guy she's trying to kill to say, it wasn't me. Oh, it wasn't? I'm sorry. I've been mistaken. I've been under this false impression that it was your fault. But now you've told me it wasn't your fault. We're cool. That's ridiculous.
But wait, weren't Black Widows trained to see deep into like people's emotions or whatever like that? Like,
then she should have been able to tell when Elena was lying to her, or when Valentina was lying to her.
True this.
I mean, that's the thing. So like, even if we buy into this thing that she was absolutely 100% convinced that Clint was the one, that Clint is responsible for the death of his sister. So the guy you're about to kill just says to you, no, it wasn't my fault. She chose to do that. Well, why didn't you say so? Like, it really, she just bought it. Just believe, look, whatever way you cut it, that is a very problematic scene. Like, don't get me wrong. I really like the end of that scene when they're both weeping and she's like, I loved her and I loved her too. And blah, like that was beautiful. Like in a show that overall I didn't really like, that was one of the definite highlight moments for me. I really liked that a lot, but there's no getting around the whole thing. Why does she believe Clint killed her? And why does she suddenly just change her mind because Clint just says, oh, I didn't do it? That's narratively, that's problematic.
it might have been the pain in his face. I don't know. Maybe she felt the pain because you could tell when someone is lying and someone's being genuine. Judges do it all the time when there's people on trial, right?
But this is a super spy. This is a super spy.
I guess.
I don't know. It's still problematic to me. All right. Thanks for writing your observation there, Johnny. All right. What's next?
Tron says top 10 worst of 2021. 10, F9. 9, Snake Eyes. 8,
Snake Eyes is so bad.
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. 7, House of Gucci. 6, Halloween Kills. 5, Spiral. 4, Matrix 4. 3, Mortal Kombat. 2, Tom and Jerry. And 1, Space Jam 2. Honorable mentions: Black Widow, Tomorrow War, Cherry, Red Notice, Coming to America.
First of all, I like Tomorrow War. I like Tomorrow War. And of course, you forgot the real number one. The real number one, of course, is The Harder They Fall. That is the number one worst film of the year. But I actually really liked it. I not super like Tomorrow. I liked Tomorrow War. I thought it was actually kind of fun. Yeah. I mean, it had its problems, though. It absolutely did. I gotta scrounge up a top 10 best and worst movie, probably by January 2nd or 3rd. I'll do a top 10 worst movie of movies of 2021 here soon enough. All right, what's next?
Hilarious. Blake says 1883 is very good. Different kind of show than Yellowstone. The only thing is that Isabel May's narration is so bad. I like her in the show, but her narration sounds like Elizabeth Holmes doing a Forrest Gump impersonation. You'll know when you watch it.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched it yet. I'm behind. 1883, of course, is a prequel to Yellowstone. I'm loving Yellowstone. Haven't had a chance to start watching 1883. Everybody says it's great, but I will keep my eyes open for that, Blake. Thanks for the heads up. All right, what's next?
Blake says, did I miss something regarding the Hulk? In the Shang-Chi post-credit, he was Bruce Banner again in human form. I thought in Endgame that he made himself Professor Hulk full-time. Can he still change back and forth? I hate Professor Hulk, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Professor Hulk, but I don't know. I mean, it was super exciting to me in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi. By the way, you're saying Shang-Chi the way I used to say it all the time, and I learned what was different. So you're saying the way it's spelled, Shang-Chi. But think of the word song.
I thought I said Shang.
No, it's song.
Did I say Shang?
You're saying Shang. Which is the way I always said it. I always said it till I got schooled on it.
I must flip back and forth.
I did that for a long time too, but it's
Shang-Chi.
Shang. Think of the scene when they're sitting in the plane. Shang.
Yeah,
Shang-Chi. You changed your name to Sean, from Shang to Sean. I love that line. At any rate, I was very excited because I don't like Professor Hulk. I thought it was a cool, different thing to try. I don't fault the Russo brothers for trying it. but I don't like Professor Hulk.
I'm
like,
wearing shirts now.
at all. Like, I just don't. It had his moments like time travel. Like, okay, that was funny. That was funny. It has moments. But I much prefer traditional Hulk. Anyway, so I got really excited when I saw that in Shang-Chi at the end there that he was back to human form. Awesome. But then we see him in the She-Hulk trailer and he's back in the Professor Hulk form. So which, I don't know. I'm excited to find out where we're at with that, but I certainly hope. I don't want Professor Hulk anymore. I don't want that. All right, what's next?
Guy Fox JLT says, "Hello, John. I want to ask you about Paramount Plus CBS-owned Showtime. Why they don't merge it with Paramount and why they don't put Star Trek exclusive on their network. I can watch Star Trek anywhere."
I mean, I don't know. Actually, I'm a little bit frustrated with Paramount right now for that. Like, I can't watch. I pay for Paramount Plus. It's Paramount Plus. Like HBO Max. Everything that's ever been on HBO, you can get there on HBO Max, right?
Yes.
That's what I like. Paramount.
This voice.
Paramount,
I've never
though,
heard this voice before. I like
Yellowstone. Yellowstone is a Paramount show.
Yes.
So you'd think that if I go to Paramount Plus, I'll be able to see Yellowstone. Nope. Oh, the Yellowstone prequel show, 1883, is there on Paramount Plus. But nope, we want you subscribed to multiple services. Fuck you, Paramount. And I ain't gonna put up with this shit much longer. Like I'm gonna cancel it pretty soon. Like if you're not gonna put your shit on your streaming service, your Paramount Plus, if you're not gonna put it there, then why the fuck am I subscribed to it? Why am I paying for that? Well, we want you to watch this and we want you to watch that. Like with Disney, I get it. You've got Disney Plus for most of your traditional mainline Disney stuff. For your little more edgy, hardcore adult stuff, we've got Hulu for that. Okay, I kind of get that. That is not a distinction Paramount's trying to make. But don't get me wrong. Like you take probably one of my most anticipated shows that's coming out, Atlanta season 3. I'm like, we talked about it the other day. I am so stoked for the return of this show. It would be great if it could just be on Disney Plus. I mean, it's FX, which is on Hulu. Hulu is a part of the Disney empire, blah, blah. I mean, it would still be pretty cool if that could all be under one roof. And like when I want to watch Empire Strikes Back and I want to watch Atlanta season 3, boom, boom, it's right there on my service. That would be great. But I understand why Disney makes that distinction. I do. Paramount doesn't have that we are a family-friendly brand thing going on. And so it's very, very frustrating to me as a viewer, as a fan.
It's confusing too.
It is confusing as well.
I had a subscription to Showtime, but it was under Apple TV Plus because there's like some sort of free trial. And then like I try to open the Showtime app and try to sign in and it won't work. But I'm finding the same thing under the Apple TV Plus Showtime. Then it's the same with the regular app. So it's all getting confusing to me, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Where it's like, okay, we have this content. Okay, but where is it now?
Yeah, it's under this house. We have all these other things that you could go to and subscribe, but only if you use Apple TV Plus can you get to the Showtime shows you want to watch.
See, at least
that's
too
all confusing to me. Yeah.
In the archaic, I never want to go back to them cable days. I never want to go back to that. But at least I knew.
You missed
all I had to find out is which channel is it on, scroll to that channel, and I can watch it. Now with the subscription services, and again, this reminds me of like when streaming was starting to become a thing, and I was so happy to get rid of my cable. I cut my cable over a decade ago, and I was so happy to get rid of cable. But I remember all these people saying to me, eventually it's good because they're thinking of saving so much money canceling cable. And I remember people saying, eventually you're going to be paying way more with all the streaming stuff than you are for cable. And me going, nah, you're just saucy because we're getting rid of cable.
So saucy.
Oh, and then about a year ago, we did the math. We added it all up. I'm paying more for my subscription services now than I ever did for cable.
It just reminds me of the South Park episode with the cable. He's like, yeah.
Oh God, that was so funny.
And they start rubbing their nipples. And like, yeah, we'll be there.
I love that episode. That episode was so good. But it's true. Like we're paying so much shit. Like you brought up the other day, Kim. We were sitting around the office here, and Kim brought up. What was really good? That Alfred show.
Yes,
that Alfred show.
Pennyworth.
And we're all sitting around. where was that again? It was Disney, HBO Max, Paramount, Amazon thing. Well, where was it again? So I think it was Epix. Oh yeah, it was Epic. Who the hell had Epix? And anyway, so then when you've got one company like Paramount, and you got Paramount, so you think it was everything Paramount, plus, great, that also reminds me of the latest South Park stuff. Everything is CBS Plus, CBS Max, but like it's Paramount Plus. Okay, so you're gonna have all your Paramount stuff. Nah, we're still not gonna put everything on it. We still want you to subscribe to, we want you to have this cable network package so you can watch our Paramount Network, and then we want you to watch Paramount Plus. Oh, and we're even gonna put shows in the same continuity like Yellowstone in 1883. We're gonna put them on different services.
In their struggle to find what makes them the most money, they're screwing over subscribers. Is what's happening.
They really are.
They're trying to figure out what makes them the most money, but at the same time, they're pissing everybody off.
So like right now, that's great. You got like Paramount. What Paramount is doing to the fans, and what some other streamers are doing too, is like, well, F you fans, you're gonna pay. You know what's coming? When I just go, you know what, I'm tired of it. F you back. I love Yellowstone. It's not gonna change my life if I stop watching it. And if you're just gonna make it difficult for me to access your content, I don't mind paying for it. But if you're gonna make it difficult for me and you try to double dip on me, yeah, you're gonna get the giant FU back from me. You're gonna get the giant FU right back from me. It's like, that's fine. There's other things for me to watch. I love Yellowstone, but there's other things for me to watch. So it's sorry, I got off on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gripe that a lot of people are having. That's why I just come over here and just watch stuff. Because I don't want to
like some people have brother-in-laws that just come over and raid their fridge. Ray just comes over so you can raid my TV. He just watches.
You got everything, man. I was like, hey, John, do you have Paramount Plus? Can I watch that South Park when I come over? And I'll try to go play that South Park, John.
Anyway, and I think that's it. I think that's it. We are wrapped up. We're caught up, guys. That'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. If you guys have sent in some questions while we're doing the show, don't worry, we'll get picked up on that on tomorrow's episode. But for now, that'll wrap us up. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your day to hang out with us here. It is a tremendous honor that you guys choose to spend part of your day here with us. So thank you so much for that. Big special thank you to all of you guys who sent in the comments and the questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about, like Paramount and Paramount Plus. Also, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. I want to thank Kimberly and Curran for being here. Kimberly, where can people find you online?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram at wasgoodkimberly.
And of course, joining you guys in the live chat, where can you follow him otherwise, Ray?
Ray Aura Max or Ray Aura Plus?
Ray Aura Max.
No, it's Ray Aura with a 0 instead of the O.
What did you call Boba Fett earlier?
I
Pajama Fett? No.
Pajama Fett.
Pajama Fett. Or Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Classic. All right, guys. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter simply at John Campea. That'll do it for us for now, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.